I don't understand what you want from me.
I wanted you to get your drink out of my way.
Oh, I thought you were like trying to get me to open. I'm like opening it real slow to give to you.
No.
Sorry.
It's in my way.
Because you were the one that asked me if I had water that I could share with you. Guess not anymore.
Nope.
Anyway. Hey guys. It's Sunday. This is Sunday Live Haul. I don't know. It's going to be a weird show. It's probably going to be a little more low energy. We've had a rough few weeks. We've had a crazy few weeks, as I titled this 2022 Mayhem. It's just like, I don't know. It's one thing after the other, but it's kind of been a continuation of the last couple of years. I feel like just everything. You just finally get past one crisis and something else pops up, and
I feel like we were running into this year like full steam ahead, super happy and excited,
But I mean, a lot of other people are dealing with the same kind of stuff. It's just weird. I don't know. Maybe it's just a symptom of getting older. You start dealing with a lot more stuff. So that's probably part of it. But it's
are you calling me old again?
Yeah, I'm calling you old. Yes.
Anyway, sure.
Hey guys. So I'd say it all kind of started out a few weeks ago. We were having some car issues, which for the last 6 months we've been trying to, or more, we've been trying to get rid of our car and get a new car. But if anybody knows how the car market is out there right now, there's a shortage. All the dealerships are trying to charge $1 bazillion over MSRP. And it's just, especially here in Vegas, it's real rough. So we kind of given up for a while, but then the car was kind of acting up and we were like, and actually that crisis, it was pretty stressful, but it ended up being a good thing because we were able to, thanks to our friend Liz O'Kane, who, by the way, guys, if you are not Costco members, or if you are Costco members, you can get pretty sweet deals on cars. So keep that in mind. And car insurance. So we ended up saving on car insurance and getting a really good deal on the car that we wanted. And we were able to sell our car. So that worked out okay. But then so that crisis, right? And this is how it all overlaps.
And we only have one car, by the way. So for anybody that doesn't know, we share a car because we don't really need two cars because we do everything together. And we
occasionally it's inconvenient, but it's not worth having two cars. And so then literally the day the old car hadn't been taken away yet, but the day we get the call that the new car is ready to be picked up that afternoon, I find out my grandma, who was going to be 95 in a couple of months, I find out she had a series of heart attacks, was in the hospital. So I literally had to get a plane home that day, which let me tell you, cost a little bit.
Not cheap to take a same day flight anywhere.
But I'm glad that there were ones available. So I went home that day back to Oregon, and then you were stuck dealing with the car stuff by yourself, which super stressed you out because that's the kind of stuff you like having me around because, when it's high stress situation, she tends to panic a little bit and think of worst case scenarios. But guess what? I'm super proud of her. She got it all taken care of.
I handled my business.
She got the car, dealt with the other car going away the next day. But I went home. My grandma had been transferred back to the home she was living in. And I was able to be there for 3 days and see her every day. I thought she was going to be, I'm not going to get too much into this because I don't want to cry on the show, but I thought she was going to be probably unconscious and sleeping, and I wasn't going to get to have any interactions with her other than being there. But she actually was awake and relatively at that time conscious and able to know what was going on. So she recognized me. She was super surprised to see me. She pet my face a bunch and she said my name.
She knew you were there. You got to have
your moments. Me. So it was good. We made her laugh. I told her that everything was okay because her favorite granddaughter was there, which I'm not the only granddaughter, but I've been
saying that.
I've been saying that for years, and she always laughs and thinks it's hilarious because I'm being naughty. So that was really good. I got to see her for 3 days, but she ended up hanging on for almost 2 weeks. She just passed last night. So we canceled last week's show because I was not. And we also canceled. When I got back from Oregon, we were supposed to go out with Mike for a live Friday. And I was like, I just couldn't handle it at that point. I think over these last 2 weeks, I've been able to kind of deal with a lot of this.
You've had your time to say goodbye and to process your emotions a little bit for the last couple weeks.
Crying. I've still cried like 3 times today, but
it's normal.
But I feel really lucky that I got to spend some time with her. My sister was there every day since then, and we'd FaceTime, so I got to say hi to Grandma a few more times, including yesterday.
Yep, it's been really good.
But so that's all been going on, and it's just a lot. And okay, I'm gonna stop talking to my grandma now because
we're done.
I can feel it.
Yep. So those of us, I'm just going to say, so those of you that watch our channel, we've talked about Grandma quite a lot. Grandma has, as Katy calls her, is the OG flipper. She used to take Katy thrift store shopping, and that's where she got her love and the thrill of the hunt and all that kind of thing from Grandma. And Grandma at almost 95 years old used to watch our show every once in a while. She was on Facebook. My own mother isn't on the Facebook. She used to send messages and cute little notes, and she was really proud of what we did, and she really loved what we did, and that we were able to do this for a living and make a good living at it. It always impressed her.
And you guys have seen some of the pieces that she gave to Vikki to sell.
Yeah, she would give me stuff every time we would go and visit. She'd be like, "Here, take this. You can sell this. This is really good, and this is where I got it." And one of the things that I've sold everything she's given to me, but one of the things that I have listed in my store for almost $2,000. It was a jacket that her brother brought for her and gave to her in 1930 something that was brand new and hung in a closet, and I still have it. So anyway, it's pretty fantastic. Grandma's memory will live on. I was very grateful to be able to have had the last few years as a bonus grandma. She's pretty awesome. So 90, almost 95 years old, cranky,
crabby, kind of bitchy.
Completely had her wits about her and her body about her right up until the end. So God bless her. We could have all had a life like that. And then for those of you that don't know me or do know me, I don't know. I've talked about it many times. A lot of you know that I'm a survivor of the Station Nightclub fire. Today is the 19-year anniversary of that fire. So that's always been February is always a very difficult month for me, especially in this last week and the day, and being away from my friends and my fellow station survivors and family members is always very difficult, being on the other side of the country. We are a little bit spread out now, but most of them are still in New England. Tracy and Frankie are in the chat very frequently. And I hope I'm not calling you out by saying this, Frankie, but Frankie's a survivor of the station fire as well. And that's how he became my friend. And Tracy and I have known each other since junior high. And they happened to get married as adults. And it's fun when people, marry each other that didn't know each other their whole lives from a very small state. In any case, it's always a difficult week, but I'm going to continue doing what I always do. And on this day and every other day in the last several years, I honor the people that were lost every day. I hope with my life, and we'll continue to do that.
So Cheryl, I actually put the link down below to the Reels, to the website that shows where it's going to be. But today, Cheryl's talking about the documentary that premieres tonight at 8. I'm not sure what time zone.
It's 8 o'clock. I believe it's Eastern time.
So I guess 5.
But I'm not 100% sure.
But I put a link down below.
It's at 8 and then again at 10 or 8 and 11, something like that.
So there's a documentary that's been in the works for the last 6 years. Vikki was involved in it. It premieres tonight on the Reels network, which I think you can get if you have a smart TV or Roku. I'm pretty sure you can get the channel on that.
If you're in New England, you can get it through Cox Cable. And I believe there are a couple of different ways to get it, but there's a link below and you can try and find it.
For those of you who like it when Vikki drops a few F-bombs, you can see her in all of her glory.
He didn't edit my F-bombs, did he? I don't think.
No, it was but listen, it's a serious subject, but let me tell you, it's very much
Vikki.
her. And if you want to know more about it and see a really moving documentary about it,
that is all of the people involved in the documentary, with the exception of one of very dear friends of mine. The director was someone that approached me almost 8 years ago, wanting to do a documentary. There've been many people that have approached us over the years. And for those of you that don't know, I was a bit of a point person in Rhode Island for the survivors and the family members, because I founded the charities that helped the victims directly after the fire. And we did a lot of fundraising. And I was a bit of I was somewhat of the spokesperson and point person for at least the first few years. So, I was approached to be a part of this documentary, and we've been approached a few times by a man that I didn't know. And it was a little bit apprehensive. I didn't want the people that I love to be exploited. He waited an appropriate amount of time. He waited until after the 10-year anniversary, because many people that approached us early on, it was way too soon, and nobody would have wanted to have anything to do with it. It was too raw. But I went with my instincts. He came out to Vegas. I had already moved here, and he came out to Vegas and met with me in person and presented the idea to me in person. And I went with my instincts, which are usually good. And I felt that he was genuine and a real person and was wanting to do it for the right reasons. And some of you may or may not know, documentaries are a labor of love. They require a lot of money. So he had to raise a lot of seed money plus his own money. And this will never be a movie for profit. No one will ever see any money. And I'm going to tell you that
most documentaries just
most
don't.
do not. They're a labor of love. They don't. And I doubt that he will ever even make the money back. Never mind the time back that he put into this. No. So it ended up being, it was supposed to be filmed originally as a docuseries. And I was one of the 5 or 6 participants. It was supposed to be in-depth information about our stories and our experiences after the fire, not the fire itself necessarily. That story's been told.
Although it does get into it.
It does get into it a bit.
So if you don't know anything about it, you are going to know what's going on.
It does get into it a bit. And anyways, he's been shopping it and everything for a number of years. And the Reels Network did pick it up and purchase the rights, not the rights. They purchased the movie, and they're showing the documentary. It had to be cut down. 357 hours of filming was cut down to 88 minutes. So 8 and 4 years of filming, I should say, also cut down to 88 minutes. So a lot of it ended up on the cutting room floor, most of that being my story, and a couple of really important things that I think were missing. However, I think he did a wonderful job with the documentary. I think if enough people watch it and express interest in it, you're going to want to know more. You're going to want to hear more from the people that you meet in this documentary. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of very, very compelling stories. Every single person has an experience and a story to tell about what happened and how that affected them. This is just a sampling of a handful. Yeah.
Absolutely. So again, I put the link down below to the website for the film, which does, but it's Reels, REELZ. And I think you can find that if you have a smart TV, it should be a channel that you can access.
And I believe you can do a free trial.
Yeah.
Too. So if you've got a smart TV where it's got all those 90 million channels that are streamable, Reels is one of those.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. And so, and real quick, going back, Vasquez Vintage said that Grandma was a real legit picker. It's very true. And she was, I could say flipper as well, because we would go to garage sales and to thrift stores, and she knew everything about vintage linens. She'd buy them for pennies, quarters. And then she would actually have those and scarves. She loved Vera scarves. And she would have a table at different vintage booths or whatever and sell her stuff. And she used to travel to New York to go to the Antique Roadshow. She loved everything about that kind of stuff. So, people who say oh, my family doesn't get what I do for a living, like my 90-plus-year-old grandma got it. And she loved it. She loved what we do. She loved
the fact that we were able to create a sustainable lifestyle by flipping and selling online. She thought that was the best thing.
And by the way, I did a post on a public post on my Facebook page. If anyone wants to go check it out, you can see pictures of her and us, and she's super cute, and you can tell she's got some style to her, real sassy. Anyway, then I know that we're already 15 minutes into the show, but you haven't even said what our most latest debacle, and I think it'll turn another one that will be a blessing in disguise. It's going to end up well, but oh my God, it just makes 2022
really flippin' stressful.
We're getting ready to launch into full planning and promoting of the next reseller remix, and all of a sudden, and we've got a trip planned going back to the East Coast in April. We got a trip going to Florida in May. So we got all this stuff in the works, right? And all this stuff that we're already stressing about. We already have beyond full plates. And then I don't know, how many days ago was it?
So Tuesday night, I got a text message from our landlord, and most of you know that we've talked about this before. We rent this house. It's a good sized house. I've been here for 9 years. My landlord, who lives in Canada, has decided to sell. In this market, I don't blame him. He's doubled in his investment in 9 years. He's going to sell this house for $450,000. I certainly do not want to buy it at that price. It's too old and needs too much work. And we were not ready to buy for another year or two anyway. So we have 90 days to move and find a home that is big enough to house everything and run our businesses from. So we talked about this year was my year to get warehouse space. So, well, that's off the table because some of you may or may not know the Vegas market. We had a very sweet deal here. The Vegas market rents have doubled what we actually pay. So what we're going to do is take that warehouse money investment and invest it in a big bougie ass house. And we're just going to rent a great house for 2 years.
Yeah, so I think I think it's going to end up being better just because yes, you specifically wanted to get warehouse space that you were going to force me to go into as well, but we still were like not really loving the idea of having to go offsite to do part of our business, and so ultimately the hope is, and the prospects do look good. At first we were worried, but there are options out there for us.
Yeah, we're just going to have a really great house.
Yeah,
like 4,000 plus square feet.
Luckily, we're in a position that we can do it. It's just still a nightmare. So, we will end up probably for the same money it would have cost to rent where we're renting currently, plus the warehouse cost. We can get a really nice house that's bigger and can accommodate both of us, both of our businesses, and any growth, particularly for your store, just because of yours takes up much more space. Any growth that we'll have over the next couple of years.
She's saying my business is fat, guys.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be able to support any growth over the next couple of years. We might even be able to get a pool. I don't know. Or have a pool in the house we rent. That's one of the options, although there are a couple where they're perfect in every way, but they also have a big backyard, so we can put in one of those little backyard above ground pools that you get for, I don't know, what, $500 or something like that. It's got a little pump.
Yeah.
As long as you can float on your little floaty, you'll be happy.
I'm happy as long as I can float outside. So I just want to, before we get into our show, I'm going to address Tommy's question real quick. Tommy had asked a question why this fire was more known than others. I know you're trying to phrase it properly. That's okay. First of all, I'm not that sensitive. You're not going to misphrase anything. I hope you know that by now. But the reason why is because this fire is the 4th largest fire to ever occur in the United States of America. The loss of life was 100 people. There were 100 people that died, 200 and some odd people that were injured, and 62 children that lost one or both parents. It was the largest loss of life due to a fire in the United States. It was the fourth largest fire as far as size. And it happened 19 years ago today. There are very few fires in history that are worse. The only one that has been worse is actually what happened to some of our friends in Sao Paulo, Brazil. And that was January 27th, 9 years ago. That was 250 some odd people that were perished in a nightclub fire.
Well, and the station fire,
very similar.
I think another part of it that gave it a lot of attention as well is that it was all filmed, unfortunately.
Yes.
Probably unfortunately for as far as investigative purposes go and all the lawsuits and stuff like that.
There was a film crew that was
happened to be there.
That happened to be there filming a segment on crowd safety. The owner of the club actually worked for a news station. One of the owners of the club worked for a news station. They were filming something on crowd safety in a club that was over capacity that used pyros that burned to the ground and killed 100 people.
So even though it was like before the social media that we see today, that video was widely available for people back in 2003. And so I remember it at the time because it was a horrific event and it was just awful. So
lots of TV shows have done shows based on that. Yeah. I mean, CSI, Law and Order, there's been a lot of them. Yeah. So, okay. So let's move on to our show. Susan, you can message me if you like. We're not dead set in staying in Henderson. We are working with a realtor right now, but if you know of anything privately that's not listed through realtor, feel free to call me, text me, message me, or anything like that.
Yeah. Okay. But anyway, I mean, 20 minutes. I'm impressed that we were able to keep it into 20 minutes.
We got through a lot of stuff.
That's the 2022 Mayhem. And so
we're only like 45 days, 50 days into 2002. Yeah. Damn.
So basically we gotta get going on full on talking about the reseller remix in October, while finding a new place to live and hopefully have it all done so we can still go back to Rhode Island in April and Florida. And
chances are we have until June 1st to move, but chances are we'll find something this week and move by April 1st. Get it out of the way.
Allison, not going to happen.
I love you, Allison, but no.
Yeah.
No, can't do it.
Oh, look, we even lured Lorna in the room. Yeah. She's sweet. Thanks, Lorna. Thank you. Okay, so let's get into our show. So this is our Sunday live haul. We break this into 3 parts. We always, go over our numbers for the last week, our real numbers, which I'll say my numbers the week before were a lot better. And of course, last week we canceled the show. But that's kind of my punishment, I think, is that then this week my numbers are real sad. But we go over our real numbers for the last week and look at some of our cost of goods, fees, stuff like that. Middle of the part of the show, we look at some of our sales highlights, some of the cool stuff that we sold, interesting things, maybe educational. And then the last part is our haul. I've got some cool stuff, not a ton. And you know,
mine's a little
we don't
slow
anything
too.
crazy.
Well, so East Coast thrifter, moved to the East Coast. I left the East Coast, my friend. 38 years I spent in Rhode Island. I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't want any more snow. We talked about it because we have actually nothing tying us here to the state specifically.
That's why we love it.
We love it. We're staying. We like it here.
I would like to point out, you guys know Vikki. She tends to immediately go to worst case scenario. And I've learned that what happens is when something really bad happens or there's bad news or something stressful, it basically takes her about 24 hours to like just really flip out and like think of everything horrible that's going to happen because of it. And then by the next day, she's like ready to take it on and like handle it and deal with it. And
it's one of the things I've taught myself. I have a huge amount of anxiety and PTSD related to, guess what? The fire. But so I can't always help myself from spiraling with like freaking out about stuff. My nickname is Chicken Little for a reason, like worst case scenario all the time.
Well, we didn't know yet, like what the housing market, she was literally crying, looking on.
I give myself 24 hours. I give myself 24 hours to have a complete meltdown.
Yeah.
And get it all out of my system.
But she was crying.
And then I'm done.
Running down her face. Tears running down her face. And she tells me, you can go back to Oregon and I'll go to Rhode Island. And I was like, I guess I'm coming to Rhode Island with you. Like, that's not. And I go, and why can't I stay in Vegas? Like, why? Like, if you're ditching me for Rhode Island, can't I stay in Vegas? Like, I'm pretty sure like I'm being kicked out of the state by you. Like, what's happening? But she got over that. And then the next day we were like, all right, let's take care of this. But okay. We almost moved to Rhode Island for like a split second.
Bonnie, you're my mom. She says, I think Vikki and I are somehow related. You're my mom. Duh. I say this because I had to help Bonnie's husband locked his keys in his car at the Reseller Remix. So I called AAA and had them come, and I had to go back in because we were in the middle of the conference. And I said, to help my dad unlock his cars. They adopted me.
Yep, pretty much. Okay, let's look at the numbers for this last week. Man, everything's been real. I don't know about you. Like, how many things do you even have to ship for this weekend so far?
7. My weekend has been.
Which, I mean, if hers is under 10 for the weekend, that's real bad. I mean, me, it happens occasionally. I'm definitely under 10, but if she's under 10, whew, that's bad. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the screen for mine. Yeah, eBay's been real bad, real slow. This is the week ending yesterday.
I just want to answer East Coast Thrifter right there. What about Southern California? We love Southern California, but we're not going to be able to afford a 4,000 plus square foot house in Southern California. Yeah. Which we can here. So there's your answer for that.
I will say real quick, it really makes me appreciate where we are right now, because, you know, a handful of years ago, it would have been a very different situation. I don't know how people in this market are handling getting pushed out by landlords and suddenly finding themselves in need of housing, because if you needed something small and affordable, we'd be in trouble.
I can tell you right now that where we both were 4.5 years ago before we met, this would have been a very, very different situation. I would not have been able to afford $3,000 plus a month for rent or 4,000 square foot house. I would not have $10,000 to $12,000 to move in savings. I would have been lucky if I had $1,000 in savings. So,
and even still, it's only working for us because we have businesses to run out of it, and so that's part of.
Yeah, I'm just saying, we recognize that this would be a horrific situation for a lot of people, and it is not an easy one for us, but it is much easier than it could have been. So we are grateful to be in the position that we're in to be able to handle it.
Yep. Okay, so 11 eBay orders, 7 between Etsy and Thrilling. 3 of those are Thrilling, nothing on Instagram, 2 each on Grill and Mercari for a total of 22 outgoing orders. I mean, that's just sad. I haven't listed in a few days because I ran out of things, and I just took like pictures of like 150 different items. So I'm going to get a handful of listings done today before we go out tonight. But I think that does slow things down a little bit. eBay gross sales real weak, $1,121.92. Etsy and Thrilling together. Etsy's been real slow as well. So Etsy and Thrilling together, $591.33. You can see right there, my Thrilling is $317.97. Again, nothing on Instagram. And then Grailed and Mercari together, $340. I don't know Mercari has continued to be pretty active for me lately, so it's kind of weird.
It's good though.
It is good. It's not like a huge moneymaker, but I think the last like 30 days, like over $800, which is a lot for Mercari for me. Total gross sales, $2,053.25. Shipping, $109.69. You can see the fees breakdown right there. Cost of goods, $345. So my net total sales real week, I don't like to be below 2,000. $1,370.58. I do have a good gross average sale price, ASP of $93.33, and my net is $62.30. So those
really
numbers
good.
are good.
Those are good,
but it's not great if you don't have more orders. So.
Oh, and Tracy, we are absolutely hiring movers. We're too old for that shit, and so are our friends.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, a 6-pack of beer and a pizza is great when you're in your teens and your 20s, but when you're in your 40s and 50s, that, you know, I'm not paying for your chiropractor visits.
No, I do. So, I do think she's very resistant to this idea, but I do think that we'll probably do a packing party at some point. At some point, there's nothing wrong with having some friends over to help pack up stuff. And she's like,
I wouldn't go to a packing party if any of my friends had one.
Yes, you would.
No, I wouldn't.
That's what you've already said before that you would. You would help people pack up their. Yes,
I wouldn't help you move.
No, you wouldn't help.
You could be my best friend. I wouldn't help you.
She always says I wouldn't help move, but then she says, "Oh, but I'll help you pack up or I'll help you clean." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's still helping move. That's just not literally.
I'm not schlepping shit.
That's not literally picking up boxes. So whatever, we'll figure it out."
Yeah, I am not schlepping anything. No. Mikey's like, "Bless you." Yeah, we're not making you lift anything, Mikey. I promise.
No. All right. Here's your look. Let's talk about your numbers here. Hey, wake up. Look at your numbers.
All right. So I did, this was a little weak for me. I shouldn't say that. It's not weak. This is a good week, but not a lot of numbers. Let's put it that way. So I did 28 orders on eBay, 11 between Etsy, Thrilling, and Depop. So I had 5 on Etsy, 5 on Thrilling, 1 on Depop. Thrilling has woken up for me again these last 2 weeks. We'll see how it goes. Knocking on something there. Poshmark went and shit the bed this week. I think it did for a lot of people. So that mine is no different. 7 orders on Poshmark, 2 on Mercari, which I haven't had any of Mercari in a while, for a total of 48 for the week. $21.93 and change on eBay, $9.14 I'll call it between Etsy, Thrilling, and Depop. $2.12 on Poshmark. Very, very weak. Poshmark is at least $500 a week for me. So it's a very, very bad week on Poshmark. 89 on Mercari for a total gross $34.08. So I'm pretty excited about that. Shipping $268.02, and then the fees. Cost of goods is relatively low. It always is for me. I do a lot of bins buys. I do a lot of bulk buys. You know, I don't pay up like Katy does. I'm cheap. So $212 cost of goods. My total net $25.35. I'm happy with that. That's not a bad net.
You have a great ASP for you.
My ASP was really good. Like I said, my sales number at 34 was pretty good for the week, 3,400. Even though I only had 48 items go out. So 71 is very good for me. ASP. My ASP has been hovering around the 40 to 50 range, and my net ASP almost $53.
Very good. Gnome and the Frog. Luckily, all of our Christmas stuff is in a storage unit. So while we kind of hope that the new place we have will have enough room that we can maybe bring it all over to our house, it's not going to be like the highest priority to move that.
We'll end up moving that ourselves.
We'll do it maybe we'll do it a little later. So we're not too worried about that. But yeah, we do have a lot of Christmas stuff for sure.
The other thing, those of you that don't know, like 6 Christmas trees.
Well,
and I literally just had a tree delivered because I want one that's up for all the holiday seasons. But of course, I ordered that before I realized we had
she ordered it like the day of finding out about the house, and then she was like, "No."
So now I have a St. Patrick's Day tree.
Put it up. And I was like, "Well, you can still put it up. We're not going to move before St. Patrick's Day." What is St. Patrick's Day on again?
Really?
I'm kidding.
She asked me that this week.
I don't remember.
What day is it?
She thinks it's weird.
I'm like, how do you not know? It's like Valentine's Day. It's the same all the time. What's wrong with you?
I would like to say you're from the East Coast, so I feel like St. Patrick's Day maybe is a little even more of a big deal on the East Coast because there are probably a lot more Irish people there and like people who are into like the whole St. Patrick's Day. I don't know. Even though St. Patrick's Day isn't even that big of a deal in Ireland, I don't think so.
I don't know.
Whatever. Anyway.
Only 6 Christmas trees, and probably more than that now, Sandy. I'm starting to lose track. Paula says it's not all in storage. Turn around. That Katy has decided to keep her movie/horror tree up year round. And I do have a peacock tree that is up year round. So yeah, we're a little bit ridiculous.
I do want to say, speaking of numbers and stuff, I'm very cautiously hopeful about Thrilling because sort of, not really, I guess. But I just I hadn't sent them in any new listings to put up until since like the beginning of November. And I sent them in like 350 new items to list. And one of the things I said was, please, please, please do not let them touch my titles. Leave my titles alone.
Same.
Because I literally have so many listings on Thrilling right now that just say 80s men's NFL t-shirt. And there's like so many t-shirts that just say NFL t-shirt. It's like, what the F? I said, just leave my titles alone. You're taking them from my Etsy. So they already say like men's in the title, which is one of the things that needs to happen because of the way their categories are. And I saw today, my new listings are up and they all have my titles on them.
That's awesome.
And now I will say there were a few listings that had like they messed up and only put like 3 pictures. And one is like doesn't even have the graphic. It's just the back of it. And I was like, so I'm going in and editing those by hand, but one can hope.
Yeah, I had them take down my entire store and start over from scratch with a brand new CSV file and making sure that they left all of my SEO rich titles the way that I freaking wrote them.
Yeah, it's just weird. Like, why would you rewrite the titles when they are right there? They're right there. And they actually say things like, I don't know, the NFL team. So if somebody's searching, they might search by the name of the team. They're not just like, I could get myself a new NFL t-shirt today. It's like,
so Crystal and Crystal does my listings the way that I prefer. I have never added men's or women's into my titles. I have been, and Crystal, if you're watching, I have been adding men's in now.
I only have
so if you can remember to do it going forward, Crystal, I would appreciate it. But yeah, I've been adding men's in just for the ones that go to Etsy, that go to Thrilling. So I've just been editing those myself as I cross post them. But because that's how they know to tag it as men's, because you cannot categorize as, anyway, it's a long story, but anyway, let's keep going.
Okay. But real quick, on my eBay titles, I don't have men's because I don't want to take up the real estate on the title, but I do put it in when I copy the title into the description, I have it there. And that's what I use for my title on Thrilling or on Etsy because you have more space.
Yeah. Well,
that's all.
Okay.
So I already had that. So I'm grateful.
You're lucky.
I know, for once, about one thing. All right, let's go ahead and start and look at our sales.
We didn't talk about what was a good thing this week, though, by the way. It's our anniversary this week.
It is. It is.
We got engaged 4 years ago.
We did. And as of yesterday.
Still 4 years.
And then my grandma. Now it's going to be.
It's the 18th.
Oh, the 18th. Sorry, why do I always say the 19th? I don't know. Anyway,
wherever you can stick it, Rosie, it's fine. First, wherever you can put it, like
so
men's jacket, men's shirt, and it probably met before the article.
But I will say that are the fun thing that we're doing to celebrate kind of a combo Valentine's Day, because we didn't do anything particularly special on Valentine's Day because it's like everybody's out doing stuff. So for Valentine's Day combo, our engagement anniversary, we're going to go to the CMA Awards or the Country Music Awards,
American Country Music
hosted
Awards,
by the
Dolly
Parton. Now it is at the Raiders stadium, which is enormous. So who knows what we'll be able to see. And I'm, not the biggest, especially current country music star. I like bluegrass. I like old country. I like Johnny Cash. I love Dolly Parton, so that helps. But I mostly got the tickets for her.
And I don't like or know any current country, so
whatever.
Both of us are gonna be like, meh.
I don't know. I think it's gonna be fun. But we're gonna go to that and get a hotel for the night. So that'll be fun.
A little staycation.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Okay, let's go ahead and look at our sales highlights for the week. Actually, I went back the week before as well.
You didn't tell me I could do that.
Did you see my numbers? Okay, go ahead. Look at this. What do you got here?
All right, so I think I've got a twofer here. So here is one of the things I talked about in our last haul, or maybe 2 hauls ago. I talked about make sure that you pick these things up. Look in the bathrooms, pick up the weird things, pick up the stuff that you think would be embarrassing. There are certain things you don't want to resell, but there are some that are fine. Like this was new in the box. The cardboard was still wrapped around the cord. This is a vintage massager, but specifically these Hitachi massagers. The teeth rattler. Yes, Sandy, the teeth rattler, as Angie would say. So I paid $5 for this at a thrift store, and I ended up getting 3 of them for $5 a piece.
I wish I could remember what he had written on that box, because you picked up one and he was like, "Oh, I've got more of them back behind the counter," and it said something like naughty something, naughty ladies toys, or I don't even know.
It
was really funny.
It was kind of ridiculous. So I picked up 3 of them for $5 a piece. I listed and sold 2. I sold this one for the price you see there, $79.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next one was also the same price. Both new. These did not have box. One had a box. One did not have a box. Both new and sold.
Ridiculous.
I mean, apparently they're popular. And then there's one left that's not a Hitachi one. So
yeah. Frankie says, "All right, the party has started." Inappropriate, Frankie. All right.
So I mean, $10 into $160 is nothing to sneeze at, right?
Yeah. Anything else?
No, I would not be picking up like anything modern. I'm gonna preface that real quickly. Vintage, the type of things you plug in, specifically these Hitachi wand ones. They're very expensive to begin with. So this is what you want to be picking up. Don't be picking up if you buy a storage unit and you've got as what we call the stripper storage unit. You do not want to be trying to sell anything modern,
of like rabbits or whatever.
Yeah, don't be going there.
Yeah, Sandra wants you to let her know when you find one with the kickstart. All right. Next up for me, I got a twofer here. So I got yesterday's fits. I think they actually had put this up on their in their stories, and so I went in and grabbed them. They had 4 Garfield t-shirts, which were pretty close to. I mean, I put them as used, but they look like they were pretty much dead stock. And they're just Garfield t-shirts. And so this one and this one right here, I priced this one higher because it's a basketball one, so whatever. But somebody gave me offers on both of them, and same person, and they offered $70 for this. And so when I price something like this, I'll price it like this. But then when I send out offers, like usually my first round of offers are going to be like 75, and then maybe a week after that, I'll drop down to 65. And then on this price, usually maybe I'll go like 115 and then 100, and then eventually go down to 85. But somebody offered me after these had been up for about a week or so, 70 on this one and 100 on this one. And I'm like, great. I paid $15 each for them. And I still have 2 other ones with different designs on them. But I got $170 for these 2 and paid a total of $30. So that was a really good flip. And they're just cute Garfield t-shirts. So
I like Garfield.
Yeah. Next up for you.
This is not anything special, but I did want to talk about, so Vince and Vince Camuto, same brand, different levels of quality and price. I picked this up at the bins in California on our trip. I had this listed for 2 days, specifically the cashmere sweaters. Go look up Vince cashmere sweaters, and you're going to see how ridiculous the prices are. Generally, cashmere is not a big deal anymore. I mean, let's face it, you can get cashmere at Walmart, but of course, there's different degrees of cashmere, but
sure.
It's not a brand. Vince in general is going to be a mediocre brand. It's a brand that it's a mall type of brand. It's certainly expensive retail, but resale, not super high. So it's not a brand that I always pick up, but this was at the bins and it was cashmere. So I was like, okay, it weighs less than a pound. So when I actually comped it because I could tell that it was a little bit more of a current brand. I was kind of like looking to find a name or a style just in case, but it sold immediately for $80. I probably could have sold it for more. I priced it at $80 because I knew it would sell super fast. The sell-through is really high. Vince cashmere sweaters in general. Look at the sell-through rate. Look at the sell-through prices. It was very surprising to me, which is why I'm telling you about it. And it sold within 2 days, I believe.
Nice.
I didn't even have a chance to cross-post it.
That's awesome. Very, very cool. Sandra says she picked up some Turnbull cashmere pullovers at an online auction, hoping they go for good money.
I don't know that name, Turnbull.
Well, good luck.
I'm gonna look it up.
Good luck. All right. Next up for me, recognize this one. I just sold the one, last week, the week before?
I do.
The week before. I think I sold it for $150. This one, somebody sent an offer for $120. And if you remember, this was from a lot of band t-shirts that I got in a Facebook group, thanks to our good friend Laura Franzica, and she actually is the one that had to bid on them for me because I wasn't an approved member of the group yet. And so she was having a grand old time spending my money. And I already, with the last one, had broken even. I paid roughly an average of about $30 per shirt in this lot. I paid like $6.50 for a whole bunch of shirts. And but as of the last Hank Williams shirt I sold, I had already made all my money back. And that was literally with like the sale of like 4 t-shirts. And so I still have like another 20 plus shirts to go. And this one is total complete. I don't know why it says 1 available. That is not true.
Because it relisted your original quantity, which is what eBay does because it sucks.
I didn't relist it though. I
didn't say you did. I said eBay did.
Okay. But I ended it, so I don't know why it's doing that. Anyway, my point is this one is pure profit, and I still have many more to sell, so I'm pretty stoked about it. It is an awesome shirt. I think it's really cool. I always do really well with the Hank Williams stuff, and it's weird because I will see them listed, not this specific one, but I'll see other ones listed for way too low on eBay, and I tend to sell them all, so for a lot more. All right, next up for you.
So this week was a little bit of a UNLV week for me for some reason. I actually even said to Katy, within 24 hours, I sold 2 UNLV jackets on 2 different platforms. I don't pay attention to the sportsing, right? So I had to say to Katy, I'm like,
well,
have we heard anything about sports? Something happening with the sportsing in UNLV? I don't know. Why is my stuff selling that's been sitting for a while? I've had this for a while, at least 6 months or whatever. I can't even remember where I picked it up, but I think it was a garage sale or the bins, one of the two. So probably around $5 or less, sold for the price you see there, $89.95. You can tell that I've had this one for a while because there is no photo room whited out background.
Yep.
So that will tell you we've been using photo room. Both Crystal and I have been using photo room for just over a year because I just had to renew my subscription.
It's also the curtain.
That's her curtain.
Oh, gotcha. You're right.
So in her stand, so she'll still uses that, but she uses the white,
Gotcha.
the photo room, and it's magical and been perfect. So yeah, crazy.
Very, very good. All right. Next up for me is this loudness t-shirt.
Loudness.
Okay.
I love loudness.
And
that's what they say.
This one is a Japanese, I guess, hair band.
Yes, they're. I mean, heavy metal.
Band,
heavy metal.
I don't know, guys.
Not a hair band.
Whatever.
Super nice guys. They don't speak a lick of
People
English.
who like hair bands, though, like this band as well. From what I know, at least our friends, our mutual friends.
I've met them, but they don't speak a lick of English. They're adorable. They have a little manager with them that interprets to their fans. They're so cute. They're super tiny, except one. The drummer dude is huge.
And so this one I listed super high just because there weren't any others out there. It's in really great condition, even though it's super tiny. And it's funny because a friend of ours had posted that he bought on vinyl like this album. And I'm like, hey, look, I have the t-shirt. And he's like, oh, how much? And I'm like, yeah, way more than you want to pay for it. And it's way too tiny for you. So
Keith?
No, not Keith. It was Jeff. And then I ended up selling it a couple of weeks later. But I have had it listed forever. And listen, with stuff like this, that there's none other out there available, I will list it so stinking high. But I do have, when I cross-post it over to, especially Grailed and Mercari, both have smart pricing, which I do use, where it'll automatically drop the price over time. And I will put on there more like what my bottom dollars that I would accept, like a much lower price. So they're actually priced lower there. But on eBay, I just send really big discounts. And so this one, I'd had it for a while. So I sent out an offer for $150 and it sold because I paid like $30 for it. And so for people who are watching it, they're like, oh, 150, great. So it's fantastic. And then sometimes I sell it for the crazy amount. You never know. But I was stoked to be able to sell this. And I did go, and of course I told Jeff that I had sold it. So
of course you did.
Of course. Tell us about this.
I'm not sure if I showed this in a haul or not because it was really big. I probably wouldn't have brought it upstairs. But I purchased this a couple of weeks ago at an estate sale. The same estate sale I bought the chrome.
Your other massager.
No, well, that too, but the chrome vacuum cleaner. So I think I paid $15 for this at an estate sale. I'm pretty sure it was listed at $20, and then it was 30 or 40% off that day. Anyway, $10 to $15. What's really sweet about this is this estate sale company, the woman that owns this particular one, there's only a few in town. She's very sweet. She mailed me the manual the week after the estate sale because she remembered that I had purchased this and they found the manual. And she went and looked up my business address with, in order to send that to me in the mail. So I thought that was incredibly sweet of her to do.
Yeah.
But it's really
Michelle
cute.
says she has the same one in pink.
Do you? I was tempted to try it, but I was a little bit afraid that it would get out of control and I'd like go flying across the room on it like, a Jetson thing. So I did not try it, but it's very clean.
I know, right? It was even ever used?
I think it's been used, yes, but it was very clean on the bottom,
well
which is very unheard of. And it's that really cool retro 70s feel. So it's sold on sale. It sold for $102, what you see there. I did charge shipping. It's going to go economy. It's not very big. It's just long.
Yeah. And your new Christmas tree you just got came in a box that we think might.
I think I can take it apart and stick it in that tree,
so
the tree box.
We'll see. That'll be good.
See, Michelle, I'm terrified of it too. Not terrified, but I'm a little bit apprehensive, shall we say. I don't really know how to use that to clean the floor. So I'm like, I'm gonna.
But it looks super cool.
It's really cute.
Cool. All right.
So it was only listed for like not even 2 weeks.
Yeah. All right. Next up, I have this Monsters of Rock t-shirt from 1984. And it's funny because it has AC/DC as like the clear headliner there. And then way down at the bottom, tiny is Motley Crue. But one of the things I really like about this shirt is I like how it actually lists like all the previous years. So you can see like the different bands.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
That headlined it before. and kind of how
Rainbow,
it evolves over
AC/DC,
time.
status quo. Wow, wow. Okay.
That's just a really cool shirt. And this particular one, like there were comps, but I don't think there were any currently listing at the time that I put this up. And this one's in great condition, definitely super small. So I priced it super high because look at all the bands that are on it and everything. But again, the pricing was incrementally going down on Grailed and Mercari, but I did end up, I think I sent out, I wanted to bring in some money. So I sent out some real low offers on this and I ended up selling it for $250, but I paid like $70 for it. I got this at yesterday's fits, paid $70 for it and sold it for $250. And I really haven't had it for that long. It's only maybe for like a couple months. So 70 into 250. It's one of those ones I knew I was going to sell it and make some money on it. Would have been really awesome if I sold it for $500, but it wasn't going to happen.
It really would have been. That was a great shirt too.
Mm-hmm. It's just, I think the graphics cool. I don't care for the most part about any of these bands. I think AC/DC is the only one I really enjoy listening to occasionally, but, still a cool shirt. Cool design. All right. Next up for you.
So this was listed for 24 hours.
Wow.
I knew I priced it a little bit low. It's an Anthropologie brand, but and let's face it, not all Anthropologie brands are created equal, right? Some are not at all. This particular one was new without tags. It still had the little tag on the inside with the extra button hanging, and it's this particular brand goes for quite a bit, and I think I could have held out for a little bit more. It actually floated into my sale. I did not intend it to go into my sale because I knew it would sell for the $129 price, but it did. My sale started, it filtered into it a little bit too late. Yeah. But it sold overnight, the first night I listed it. So I picked this up at the bins in California as well. So it weighs less than a pound. So I paid maybe $1.50, and it sold for the price you see there, the $102.66.
Deb says Katy doesn't like Van Halen. I'm hurt. It's not that I don't like Van Halen. I will sing along when the songs come on the radio. I've never in my life put a Van Halen album on, whereas AC/DC I have. But yeah, for the most part, I'm like, yeah, they don't move me.
They don't move me.
They don't move me. I'm like, meh, whatever.
I like all kinds of music. I do. We do make fun. You do make fun of me, particularly 80s rock and 80s hair band. Yes. However, my daughter was in town this weekend, and we went to see Shania Twain.
Yeah,
and
backcountry too.
I paid a small fortune to see Shania Twain for the second time, but we had third row center and a little VIP experience, and we had a great time.
Yeah.
And I won a slot.
Yeah, you did.
Jackpot. But so this was not a bad weekend.
You did. And she won a slot jackpot that paid more than paid for her tickets, but she also was seated next to somebody who paid like a fraction of what you had paid for your tickets. So that was nice.
I paid about $1,500 for two tickets
and everything all together.
Fees, insurance. I had to buy the COVID insurance because God forbid me or my daughter got COVID. I wasn't gonna throw away the tickets.
Well, and then like when I bought our tickets for the Country Music Awards, like I paid like the cheapest tickets were like $100 each, and then you add all the fees and it's just ridiculous. But I'm like, oh, I'm doing it for Vikki. She's gonna be really happy, blah blah blah. And now it's like all of a sudden we're seeing all these Ticketmaster things being like starting at $40. I'm like, you son of bitches,
because it didn't sell well.
I know. And I wasn't paying attention. I didn't realize that it was in the stadium, or else I probably would have been like, there's no way they'll sell all these tickets.
Oh, look, see, Danica has now just completely bastardized Panama for the rest of my life. Danica. Now I'm going to say that every time.
See, now that's a terrible song. Not with Danica in it. With Danica in it, I'll like it. But the original, not a good song, in my opinion. All right, next up, another shirt that I did not sell for that price. And this one I have not had for very long, but it's a super cool shirt. Alien 3 t-shirt, got from yesterday's fits. I got this at the same time I got that really cool Wolfman t-shirt, which the last show we had I had sold. And this one I paid $100 for. The Wolfman I had paid $70 for. And I sold the Wolfman for $150, I believe. This one, again, sending out offers. I sent out, and I had somebody offer me like within a couple of days of listing this, they sent me an offer for $600. Or they said, oh, would you take $600? I said, yes, absolutely. I would. And I sent them an offer for $600 and then they ghosted me. And I was like, why?
Bastard.
I know. Right. So anyway, but I think it's a really cool, unique, graphic, and it's got a Euro tag on it. I did find a couple other ones out there floating around out there, but none that were currently available. But I sent an offer out for $300 and it was accepted. So I paid $100 for it and it sold for $300. Again, those shirts I only bought like maybe a little over a month ago, so they really didn't take long. And again, yes, I do pay up quite a bit more than Vikki does, but it's something like this where I'm like, I'm gonna sell it. Like it's not like I'm not gonna make the money on it. So, and it's not like it's gonna take me years to sell it or anything like that. So I was pretty happy about it, but it's such a cool shirt. It's such a cool shirt. I love it. And unlike a lot of people, I actually really like Alien 3. I think it's a good movie. People tend to hate it. I think it's the worst one next to Alien Resurrection.
I wouldn't know. I've never seen it.
I know. It's not something to brag about. Whatever. Keep your Van Halen. Go ahead.
I will. Thanks. So this I picked up. I think I bought this at Savers. Actually, I'm pretty sure I bought this jacket at Savers. I bought it. I paid $20. It is super heavy, super thick, really, really well made, nicely made jacket. Totally not my style. But you can tell it's a very nice quality jacket, although it's not a very popular brand or name. So it was pretty hard to find any types of comps. But the ones that I did find had them priced a little pretty high. So I haven't had this listed very long at all, maybe a couple of weeks. And it sold for full price before I had started another sale. So it sold for $229.95. I did charge shipping a lot for shipping. It cost every bit of that $15 to ship. This thing weighs like 6 pounds. It's so heavy.
Yeah.
But it's a really, really nicely made jacket.
Yep, absolutely.
It went to like Wisconsin or something, which is where they need a jacket like this.
Yep. You know, it's funny. So Deb says that I give up movies and TV way before music. I'm assuming it's Deb talking. Way before music. And you know what? It's funny because I'm all about movies. Movies are like my thing, collecting movies, watching movies. I love it. But I will say, I agree. I would, if I had to give up either movies and TV or music, I would give up movies and TV.
Same.
In a bizarre world where it had to happen like that. And the reason is, I'm actually surprised you say that. But just because the reason I say that for me is I actually listen to a lot of music. I think I listen to music a lot more often than you do.
You do. You do. I don't listen to it as much as I should, but I don't listen to music because I don't do it when I'm working. It distracts me.
I know, and I don't either.
TV doesn't distract me. TV doesn't distract me. Music does.
Yeah. So
because I want to get up and dance and sing along.
I could not imagine not being able to listen to music when I'm driving, and
music is an
music
enormous.
Moves me. It does.
I think it does. I mean, music reflects the music reflects your insides, and it's something. Yeah. Something you can hear on the outside to reflect your insides.
But you know, there's like people who don't have emotional responses to music. It's like a weird thing. Like not
music is my. Music is
an
incredibly important part of my life for many, many reasons. Not the least of which is the anniversary today. So it's it's always going to be part of who I am.
Yep. I love music. I love discovering new bands or artists that I really like and listening to songs over and over again and enjoying them. Stop scribbling and adding background noise, woman. Anyway, yeah, let's go. All right. Next up, I sold this on Etsy. Now, Bugle Boy, occasionally I'll pick up Bugle Boy. It doesn't really sell for that much, and sometimes it takes forever to sell. But this particular one, I love the graphic is a skateboard, and there's not as much skateboard stuff. There's you can find so many shirts out there of surfing and even skiing, which I also love. But skateboarding, I don't find as much of it, and I just love the graphic on this. I think it's super dope. And so I've had this for a little while. Probably had it for, I don't know, it's probably got sometime in the last year. I don't remember where I got it, but I don't think I paid more than $10 for it. And I sold it for $89.99 on Etsy. But it's such a cool shirt. I love it. I've got other Bugle Boy stuff that just sits and sits and sits. But I mean, come on. Skate Mania. It's a good shirt. I love it. Next up for you.
So this is something that it sold for the price you see there, $236.96. Bogner is an excellent brand for ski clothing. This is something that I've had for a little bit over a year. This actually came from my buyout of the Clothing Vault. For those of you that listen to the Seller Community podcast, you were able to hear this week. It's the sponsored by List Perfectly. It's this podcast that Liz and Doug do. We've talked about it before. I'm sure we'll talk about it again. They actually, Amanda and Clara, the founders of List Perfectly, owned a a vintage clothing store called the Clothing Vault.
Mhm.
And I was able to acquire the remains of that business last year. So this was part of that acquisition. And so I've had it for a little over a year. Vintage stuff does take longer to sell. We all know that. But this was one of those pieces, and I
Nice.
love it.
And you sold it for how much?
$236.96.
There you go. Very, very cool. Yeah, Sandra says that was a great episode.
It really was a great episode.
Apparently,
of the podcast.
it was their highest number, like their number one downloaded within the first
and
day.
It was also, I just want to say that they also celebrated their 1 year anniversary of the podcast.
No,
Liz and Doug,
their 1 year birthday.
Yes, sorry, anniversary of the podcast.
They were like, it feels kind of creepy to say it's our anniversary.
That's true. 1 year birthday of the podcast and 25,000 downloads.
Yeah, very, very cool. And that episode was the numbers
that
went through
day.
the roof.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very cool. Very, very cool.
So if you ever want to know a little bit more about Amanda and Clara, I know we talk about them a lot, and they're very prevalent in both our group and the List Perfectly group. We talk about List Perfect all the time. I realize that sometimes it's a little bit excessive for those of you that are not interested in it. I do understand that. However, they're both amazing women, amazing business women in and of their own rights, long before List Perfectly came into play. And I think their story of success is very interesting.
Yeah, it's very cool. Danica says it made her cry. So she loved it. And real quick, listen, little fidgeter right now. You're over here scribbling with your pen. That's all getting picked up on the mic. Why do you want to compromise the quality of the show?
Yes, our show quality is so high.
I tried to pull the pen out of her hand, and it was like this. It was like, because she's over here going, and talking, and like this in the background is just this.
I'm going to stab you with the pen that's still in my hand. Keep it up.
Should we show them the really fancy artwork that you did?
Yeah, my doodling.
Guys, we should put this in a museum. How much would you guys pay to have this original?
I'm gonna stab her.
This original piece of Vikki art.
Gonna stab her. Gonna be stabbed.
Not cool, man. Not cool. All right, let's go back to what we got here. Next up, I've got this awesome Tricks Are for Kids t-shirt. I love it.
You've had this one for a bit, but it was a very good one.
I haven't had this one so I have another one that I've had for a little bit longer.
Okay.
This one, but yeah, I probably had this for like a good 4 months or so. So I've had it for a while, but not a crazy amount of time. And I like the graphic on this one's way better than the other one I have. The other one's pretty simple. It just has the rabbit on it. But I like the little fruities that are flying out up here, and he's busting through. Tricks Are for Kids. But I paid like $25 for this one. And what are you looking at?
Greg.
Oh yeah, Greg. We can do an NFT of your really terrible art piece.
Sorry, that made me laugh.
you were like really intense about it. You're all just like,
knock it off.
And then she stops doing that. She starts going. She's really good at stabbing us. Stop it. Stop the fidgeting. Anyway, so I paid like $25 for this and sold it on. It's one of my very few grailed sales for this week. Sold it for $157. So not a bad price. Yeah, you can see the smart pricing is activated. Your floor price is currently set at $149. So I think I had it. I think on eBay it's like $209.99 because the way I have it on sale. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
So I put it in, and on Etsy it's $200, but it's at 10% off. And then I put it on Grailed for $200, and that set the bottom floor at $149. And so once it hits $149, it just stays there. And so they paid $149 plus $8 shipping on Grailed, just to give you a little more insight into how I do my pricing. That's it. Next up for you. You got all kinds of ski stuff.
I did. This is a week for skiing, apparently. People are about to go on spring break and go skiing. Mm-hmm. That's really why. So this was another Clothing Vault. Nope. Actually, this one came from the bins. I found this.
This is Clothing Vault.
Is it?
Because look they have the magic thing where you can see the tag.
You're right. Sorry.
It's on something.
Sorry. This is a Clothing Vault one. I even stole some of their photos. We've talked about that before. So this was from the Clothing Vault as well. So again, I've had this for about 2 years. It sold for the price you see there, $199.95. Now that you can see the sold prices on,
I love it,
on Etsy, it's pretty fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, $199.95. That's a pretty great one. I had the customer contact me and say, "How fast can you get this out?" I'm like, "Tomorrow, fast enough?" Yeah. They're like, "Yeah."
Any of you, I need to ask Claire the next time I see her. Any of you photo people out there know, because I've seen other people do this too, how you do the photos like this? There's some sort of trickery because it's like it's on a mannequin, but you can see the tag. It's not, it's like there's some trick photography.
I don't know how.
Where like you put two pictures together. It's crazy.
It does look like it was in Ski Patrol.
Yeah.
And it went to Colorado. So someone is wearing it on the slopes.
Well, as Kelly says, Obermeyer is from Colorado. So
yeah,
I sent it home.
I sell a lot of Obermeyer, but only vintage Obermeyer. Current stuff doesn't sell as quick. The vintage stuff has these great patterns and stuff. So
yeah. All right, next up is this shirt. So when I get returns, I don't get a lot of returns, but when I do, I tend to kind of, they come in, I refund the buyer, and then I kind of shove them to the side. And occasionally I'll be on top of it and I'll immediately relist them. And sometimes it'll be a few months will go by and I've got like 6 things that I need to like relist. And so that's what happened. This one had, I'd sold it, I think for like $65 or $70 on eBay, and they got it and it wasn't what they thought it was going to be. And so they sent it back. I don't know what they thought it was going to be. I don't know, whatever. And so they sent it back and then it just kind of sat to the side. And then this last week, I didn't have anything else to list. So I grabbed my little stack and I went through, which is nice because it's like I've got 6 new listings to put up on all my platforms. Because I can just take my listings from Etsy because I never delete those. And it makes it really easy to kind of relist everything everywhere.
You don't delete them? Do you just hit deactivate?
Yep. Oh. On my Etsy, which is nice because then I always have those. So I delete them on all my other platforms. I get something back in. I can just go ahead and cross post using this perfectly. So I did that. I listed it and literally within an hour, it sold for full price on Mercari. So again, I sold for like 65 or 70. It came back to me. So I lost a little money on shipping because I do free shipping. And it sold instantly on Mercari for $99. And I was pretty stoked about that. So good little deal. So I guess, I don't know, I could have listed it earlier, but who knows? Maybe that was the time that person was going to see it right then. And so it all worked out for the best. Vikki says you just procrastinated.
Yep.
All right. What do you got here?
So this is my one good thrilling sale that I wanted to talk about. This is what a thrilling sold page looks like. As you can see, it says women's clothing. And they don't have the era. They don't have any of those things that are actually in my actual listing. But,
so it should say men's in the title to help offset
correct.
that.
That's why I'm going to do that now.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever. Picked it up for $5 at an estate sale. Right, $5.
Yeah, this is where they had like all those T-shirts. I got like 11 T-shirts.
Yep. So I think I paid $5 for each
20 T-shirts. They were like 50 cents each.
I think I paid like $5 for each jacket and picked up 2 or 3 jackets. This was one of them. Had it listed for just a couple of months because I purchased this right before Christmas, maybe November-ish. And it sold for $149.95. Now, those 2 jackets, the 2 UNLV jackets, sold within 24 hours of each other on 2 different platforms. That's why I was like, is something happening with the UNLV? What's going on?
Well, so here's what's funny. We were at this estate sale. There were 20. This is what it was. Their pictures didn't show any vintage clothing. So I was just going like to help Vikki. I'm like, whatever, we'll go. I'll help her find some stuff. And I go into this room and there's all on the shelf, not even hanging up, just on the shelf, shoved into this little cabinet. I pulled out 22 vintage T-shirts, and then I pulled these jackets out of the closet. And basically, in order to make Vikki be okay with me stealing this big score, I was like, "You can have the jackets. I get the T-shirts." And so I got 22 T-shirts. She actually paid the $11 for them, but she got to get this jacket, and there was one other jacket that I gave it to her. So it's how we compromise sometimes.
Yep.
All right. Anything else?
Nope. That's it.
Okay. Last one is this cool X-Files Stanley DeSantis t-shirt. I got this at ThriftCon. This last October. It was just before the reseller remix. And I actually bought this from Yesterday's Fits. I bought the majority of the stuff I bought at ThriftCon was actually from Yesterday's Fits because they had, Jesse had, before the doors even opened, he had bought a bunch from other sellers that were there as vendors as well. And so this was one of those shirts. I paid him $100 for it. I think he had a price for like $120, $130, but he gave me a little bit of a discount. But I paid $100 for it. It's just a really cool shirt. It doesn't have the tag, but you can see the tag was cut out. But you can see from the construction, the single stitch, the style, and then of course you can actually see printed right on the shirt. It says Stanley DeSantis. So it's one of those cases where it really doesn't matter that much that the tag is gone because you can tell it is what it is. And it sold on Mercari for $254. And again, I don't think they made an offer. I think that was just the price that it automatically went down to, because they have it where when you put in a price $299, it automatically calculates for you like their recommended smart pricing low price. I don't know if it's like whatever the percentage is. I don't know. Anyway, so that was just the price of it was, and they paid that full price. So, but a very cool shirt. That's it.
You had some pretty decent priced sales this week. Like,
well,
that's why your ASP was so high.
I went back 2 weeks. That wasn't all. This one was from the week before.
Get some good stuff.
Armando says possibly it's an invisible mannequin, and then also you can remove the check portion. I don't know what that means, but okay. Fair enough. I'm sure it's something very simple, and we're just dumb and old, and we can't figure it out.
Why do you keep saying we?
Oh, you know how to do it?
I didn't say I did, but I wasn't trying to figure it out.
But you think who would be more likely to figure out anything tech related or something like that? Yeah, it'd be me.
Probably.
How many times have I had to like go over?
Oh, you can move the chest.
Chest. Okay, I was like, I don't know what that means.
That's true. Could be.
All right. Yeah, that probably is what it is. So it's not some trickery. I've seen before a demonstration where it was like something where they basically merged two photos to get that. So I guess maybe I was making it more complicated than I needed to.
Could be. And sorry, I had to yawn. I had to drop my daughter off at the airport this morning at 4:30 in the morning, and
it's crazy early.
I did not go back to sleep.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Well, and she was supposed to fly in Thursday night, and then Southwest bumped her flight, and then you had to rebook it because the bump was like, wasn't it like later in the next day? It was
no,
like,
they bumped it
early
by like 6 hours.
She's like, I have to work. She couldn't take her day off. And so she ended up having to come in pretty early.
She came in at 9 a.m. on Friday morning.
It's not that bad, but still, she missed a night hanging out. And then you guys were out you basically left at like, I think 1 p.m. and were there at the casino until late at night when I came to pick you up in like the worst traffic of all time. But that's because I love you.
It's true.
A lot.
Thanks.
Anyway, so yeah. So what were we talking about? Oh, so she had her flight out was like super, super early, and it was really busy, which it's like, why are all these people flying out
Where are all you
early?
people going at 4:30 in the morning?
Sunday, you're here for the weekend in Vegas, but it almost seems like, what's the point of coming to Vegas for the weekend if you're leaving at like, you have to be at the airport at 4 a.m. on Sunday?
I had to drop her and my grand dog at the airport at 4:30 this morning. So I've been up since 4. I'm already tired. We have plans tonight.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but they're good plans. We get to see a friend, so it's all right. Okay, let's talk about our hauls.
My friend Kathy Pelcha is in town from New England. She's a station survivor as well. Just happens to be here this week, so we are very happy to be spending time with each other tonight.
Yes, and not only that, it's at your favorite casino, right? Your current favorite casino.
That too.
So that's nice, like a little bonus, because you're not walking past one of those slots without putting a little money in.
I'm not.
I know you're not. Especially after the high you're still riding from your jackpot winnings the other night.
It's true.
Which I'm a little sad I missed out on, because I do go with you a lot to observe when you're not forcing me to gamble next to you.
First, that's the biggest jackpot I've ever won.
So I was a little bummed that I didn't get to be next to you and do some whooping and hollering, or Deb and Mel with us, because the last time we hung out with Deb and Mel and gambled, we got really into screaming and cheering for like really low wins, and this one over here was like super embarrassed, and I'm like, yeah, but if it was just me doing that, you would have been wanting to kill me.
It's true.
So I had buffer of our friends.
Oh yeah, Sandy, she's been here since yesterday, I think, so she might have caught up by now, but you never know. We'll see. Anywho, all right, let's talk about our haul.
What do you have? What are you going ahead and talk about?
Okay, so I'm gonna show one thing I didn't show from our trip to California that I thought was a good thing. And I've talked about this brand before, and I'm sure most of you are aware of it, but I wanted to talk about certain items being worth more than others because of the scarcity. So one of the things I wanted to talk about is Disney Loungefly. So Loungefly is a brand that makes all different types of bags and wallets and backpacks and things like that. But they also co-brand and partner with Disney. They do Hello Kitty, they do Disney, they do all kinds of like rockabilly looking stuff too. It's not just that. But so this particular one is a Disney co-brand. And I'm going to say that there are certain Disney things that you should always keep an eye out for. And one of them is going to be Aristocats. Aristocats is not a very highly overproduced line or movie line of products. Aristocats, Alice in Wonderland, the Cheshire Cat, that type of thing. There are certain Disney items that are not as widely available. So I actually paid up quite a bit. I picked this up at a thrift store. I paid.
It was called Thrifty Land, and it was spelled like Disneyland,
and it had the Disneyland font.
Yeah.
And I paid $80 for this backpack and the wallet. They're both new. And $80 for the two of them combined. And I think I can sell them for about at least $250. So I did pay up quite a bit for them, but they're really, really nice. And they're really sought after. If my friend Corey is watching this, I'm sorry, Corey. I love you. I don't love you enough to give it to you for your birthday. She's a big Aristocats fan. And she just came back from a cruise and she was there for her birthday. Right after her birthday. Anyway, so this was a buy that I did pay up for quite a bit, but I know I'm going to sell it. It's just really cute. I love it a lot. It's got this convertible strap. So it's got the strap. You can carry it as a side bag. You can put it, you can hook it and make it a backpack, whatever. It's cute.
Yeah, well, it was funny because when we went to downtown Disney, we didn't go into Disneyland itself. We went to downtown Disney to kind of walk around, and then we met up with Deb and Mel and had drinks and some food. And we definitely saw groups of teenage girls who like all had their
Disney backpacks,
Disney Loungefly backpacks on.
Mm-hmm,
And so
I would put Loungefly as the brand, but I would put Disney and Loungefly in the title, but Loungefly is the brand because people are going to look it up by the brand.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you put Disney as the brand, which even though, yes, it's a co-brand, you could technically do that. You could put Disney as the brand. I think people that are dialing in looking for Loungefly items will not find it because Disney is so many millions of items. Yep. That's just my opinion on that. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's see. One thing. Okay, so I'm going to do my little brag here. I'm going to talk about how I went to the bins by myself. Dynasty, Danielle in their Dynasty Centers met me and our friend Dana, not the Dana in the chat, a different Dana. Our Dana is often in our chat, I should say. I don't think she watches our show. Our friend Dana Landry met me there, and we were thrifting on Wednesday morning. Now, I've talked before about the t-shirt bros. Anybody that goes to the bins, you know about the t-shirt bros. Good for them. That's all they're there for. They want the t-shirts. They want the streetwear. They want the stuff Katy buys. Mm-hmm. Occasionally, I'll find one or two of their cast-offs because I know what Katy likes, and it's not generally what they will pick up because a lot of her bread and butter stuff. So I bring her home one or two. I bring her home one or two every once in a while when I find them. This time, I actually hit the mother load in a cart that had come out at the bins that the bros had already gone through, and they missed it.
So and then she came home and she's like, and you can't have any of it.
This time, no.
and listen, for the most part, I was totally okay with that. There's one piece in here. There's one piece in the stack that I'm like, please. And she said no. So now my challenge to you guys is, of these t-shirts she shows you, which one do you think is going to be the one that I wanted her to give me out of all the shirts that she shows you?
So I'm going to show you. So I actually hit the mother load of rock band tees. So mostly women's. So maybe that's why they passed them up. But I'm going to say all of my my rocker girls in this chat. Now, if Jen Newman comes in and watches this, she's going to be like right on this. But I'm going to tell you, this is my attire in the 90s when I was smaller.
And also, real quick, Britt just told me that he's been selling a lot of women's graphic t-shirts. He's like, doesn't even matter what's on them. They've been selling really well for him. So that combined with the rock part of it, I think you're going to do well with these.
So I've got the baby doll t-shirts for women, the baby dolls, and the tank tops were really big. So I've got Jane's Addiction, all 90s stuff. So Jane, and
like
they're
late
tiny.
90s, early 2000s.
Yeah,
probably.
late 90s, early 2000s. Jane's Addiction. I have Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. I personally have several rock shirts in this style with the shorter sleeves, and it's like, not that they fit me anymore. This is a large. This might fit my kid. But Tom Petty, American Girl.
It's like you'd wear this and it'd be like super tight. Your midriff would be showing, and you'd have to have like a piercing.
Low slung jeans and a belly ring.
It'd be like 2002.
Low slung jeans and a belly button ring. Absolutely. This one, Ario Speedwagon. I don't know why this one was in there because it doesn't quite fit with the rest, but Ario Speedwagon, still vintage, it's got a girl's flare t-shirt. It's got that double layer. Again, the 90s, early 2000s, has a little hole in the bottom. I don't think that makes a damn bit of a difference. As a matter of fact, this actually has a few holes. It's runs in it. I think it looks fine. It just looks distressed. These are all clean, by the way. I've already cleaned them all. Let's see. This one is one of my favorites. This one is not a women's t-shirt. This is a men's t-shirt. So this is 2003. So it's just about vintage. And Primus.
My name is Mud.
And it is, most of these do have the copyright. Even the ones that are not copywritten, like the Jane's Addiction, that was the style. They would print these on blanks in the 90s when they were touring, when no one would go see them, actually, these older bands, because grunge had taken over. So like mid to late 90s, cheap printing on the tank tops. They're just tank top blanks. They didn't all have copyrights. So I'm 100% certain that they're not, boots.
Well, you can tell these all came from probably the same person that picked up.
Yeah. So anyway, so this is the Primus one I really like. This is men's, and this is a baseball tee, and it's a decent size. So I like that one.
My name is Mud. I love me some Primus. How do you feel about Primus?
Not a fan.
See, I love me some. I haven't listened to it in a long time, but I could bust out some Primus. Maybe I'll force you to listen to it on our way to the next our thing tonight.
All right, and the next one is let's see. Okay, so this is women's. This one's actually a little bit newer, so I think this might be 2005. I think I saw. Nope, 2007. Tool. So this one, the kids would still consider this vintage when you're talking streetwear and t-shirt tees. 2000s. I wouldn't necessarily put the word vintage, but I would put 2000s in the title. So this is a baby doll tee. It's got a little hole in the back on it, and it's.
I'd still put vintage on it just because I know that the people who are buying it, who are interested in it, already consider it vintage.
And it's from a Los Angeles show, so Los Angeles, California, Tool, and this one is copywritten. This one I totally would have worn this. System of the Down, also early 2000s, not 90s, but early 2000s. Wife beater, yep, with the little star in the back. Again, like this was my attire 18 years ago, I was wearing this stuff. Another Tom Petty baby doll tee. This one is copywritten. This one's 1999.
Yep, on the Winterland tag.
And then this one is the one that is worth the most. This may or may not be the one that Katy would have wanted. I'm not sure. We'll see. I have two more to show. But this one is the one that's worth the most. Here's some things. It's holy. It's stained. It has a couple of repairs. There is one listed right now for over $1,000, and there's one that sold for a couple of hundred, neither of which have necessarily much better condition.
This is the one that I'm shocked that you were able to get from the bros, because the rest of them, the majority of them are women's and super tiny. And they're just going to pass over that. It's a little surprised they didn't grab the Primus. They might not have been paying attention. But
I love System of the Down too. Crystal.
This one shocked that they missed.
This is also Tool, but this is a men's very large Tool from 1992. This is their first ever album, concert, tour t-shirt. Tool has a huge following, by the way. Tool is one of those bands that has a huge following. They're pretty rabid, huge following. And this is copywritten, and it's 1992. It has a repair under an armpit. Yeah, it has a big stain on the front of it. We've bleached the hell out of it already. It's not getting any better.
No.
Couple of stains. There's a repair right there. Somebody's armpit must have already ripped through it. Anyway, so this one is a real, if you put in Tool 1992 t-shirt, you'll see what I mean. I believe there's one listed for like 12 to 1500, something like that. And a couple of solds, but not very many. There's one, maybe two even listed online right now. So that's pretty rare. So I'm excited about that one. I'm going to put it up really high and probably have a best offer on it, which I don't do best offers on most things. And then that's my favorite. And again, I stole these from the bros.
Like I said, that's the main one where I'm like, that's pretty.
I'm pretty proud of myself.
I'm impressed with the other finds, but I can see why the bros might pass it over because they're not thinking about like showing off to their fellow strippers.
And then this shirt, this is just vintage, made in the USA, old tag, long before the Walmart days of Ocean Pacific, half shirt, lifeguard on duty, and then a cute little thing on the back, little bro men's half shirt. Super cute. I like this one a lot too.
All right, guys, of those t-shirts, which one did I give her puppy dog eyes over and go, please, just let me have that one, please. What do you think? What do you guys think? I want to see the votes. Let's see it, guys. But yeah, I'm very impressed. I think you did a fantastic job. Definitely not Ario. Frankie, you shut your mouth, Ario. Come on.
He had LOL.
Come on. Now, okay, so the Primus, yeah, I think the Primus is cool. I agree. The Primus is definitely a cool shirt, but that one, and the Tool one, I do think is the one that's definitely worth the most.
Oh, it's absolutely worth the most, yeah.
So, but there's no way I was going to be like, come on, give me the Tool. Like, that's just a silly question. Primus is definitely very cool, but I also knew it's a baseball tee. Again, not going to give it up. And I know that the Primus one's going to be worth a ton. It's a cool shirt though. But yeah, Jill, you're right. The OP, I was like, because I'm thinking, I'm a little calculated.
Jill pays attention to our show.
I'm a little calculated. First of all, if you pay attention to the show, I love vintage Ocean Pacific t-shirts. I love the vintage OP for sure. I've had some great luck with selling the crop tops. I also knew that was not the necessarily the most valuable shirt.
Obviously, you know that Deb and Mel were going to get that right. That's why we didn't choose them. They know us too well.
Of course.
But Jen got it right too.
Yep. So that's more like, well, the Tools are the best of the lot. The OP is the one that kind of gives me the warm and fuzzies, and I'm like, come on, just give me that shirt.
Jill pays attention.
Come on, just give me that shirt. And she said no,
and I said no.
And then she slapped me, and then she walked away, and I was
yes,
like,
that's exactly how it happened.
And then I cried.
That's exactly, and I kicked her while she was down too. Let's go with that.
And then I cried. So
ridiculous. All right, I'm gonna just show like 4 or 5 more things, and then I'm kind of done for the day. I don't have
you're just gonna like go away while I do mine.
Yeah. I might go get the puppy.
No,
I'll wait.
I'm begging you, hang out and pay attention to me while I'm showing my stuff. Okay. It makes me happy. Okay, what?
Oh no, Crystal, that just makes me sad. I mean, I hate Nirvana. We know I hate Nirvana, but geez, that's just sad.
That's one of Jake's friends. If Nirvana was a clothing brand. Wow.
Oh my.
Kids.
Okay, so all right, so this is a bins find. This is what we would have called it. The fabric is really thick. It's what we call like liquid satin. So liquid satin was when it was really thick and really super shiny. This is, I believe this is a dressing coat. It may be as early as the 50s. I think it's the 50s. I'm not entirely sure because there are no labels. And sometimes these kind of styles will go for a couple of decades. But my best guess is that this is a dressing gown from the 50s, just based on the fact that it's hook and eye closure. 40s was really big with the liquid satin thing, but I don't think this is as old as 40s. I'm going with late 50s. It's just a dressing gown. It's lace on the top. It closes hook and eye all the way down to the waist, and then it's open. It's open all the way down. It's full length, and it has some gathering in the back, some like gusset gathering in the back and the sides. It has it's in beautiful condition. It has a big rip at the hem here on the bottom. Ooh. But I think what I'm going to have Crystal do is just hem it higher, because I think if she brings the hem up all around, there won't be any damage. Yeah. So this is one of those things I would do a repair on. It's a really, really pretty, again, picked it up at the bin. So probably paid about $2. So if I pay $5 to $8 for a new hem, it will still be worth it, because I think I can sell it for a little over $100.
Very nice.
Let's see. Also a bins item. Certain things people don't pick up at the bins, and I don't really understand why. I think they're looking a lot for fast fashion or the fast flip. But they tend to overlook a lot of really good quality. Hey, I think liquid satin's a heck of a porno name, right? I mean,
inappropriate,
right? It's a good name. Very Hollywood, exactly. Very Hollywood glam. So I picked up this Joseph Banks. Joseph Banks is a high-end men's clothing store. It's not really casual clothing. It's mostly suits and higher end clothing. So it's an extra large leather jacket. It's a bomber jacket, but it's goat leather. So it's a really, really nice, super soft brown bomber jacket that I picked up at the bins.
Poor goat.
That will sell at probably at least $200. Why someone donated this to the Goodwill, I have no idea, because it's a really, really nicely made jacket. And it was probably close to $1,000 new. So I'll get at least a couple of $100 out of that. So I wouldn't say definitely pick up everything Joseph Banks, but the jackets are worth good money. Oh, look, what's that one? Would be a good roller derby name too. You're right.
My porno name would be Goat Leather.
You're a freak. You're a freak. Also picked this up at the bins. I did only pay $4.99 for this because of how much it weighs. It weighs like 8 pounds. So it's a state police first aid kit. It's vintage. It's from at least the 60s.
What state?
The state of Illinois.
Ooh.
Illinois State Police. So it has most of the contents, although the contents are not all original. So I've got a lot of the contents are still in it and still sealed. 60s and 70s. I thought it was pretty cool. I like these vintage first aid kits. I don't really know what I'm going to list it for yet, but probably in the $50 range or so.
It's really heavy.
It's very heavy, but this will fit in a medium flat rate box. So I would just charge a flat rate box pricing. And this is something I would absolutely use the flat rate box for. I don't usually do that, but I would probably charge, whatever, the $13 or whatever for the shipping. It weighs like 6 or 7 pounds for sure.
Yeah. Allison wants to know if there's a donut in there.
No, there's no donut. They missed the boat on that one, Allison. Okay, you think I should list it higher? Greg says, all right, maybe I'll list it higher. I haven't checked comps, so I don't know. It's a full-size kit. It's not a mini one, so no emergency pierogies. Let me just get a couple more things.
Are you going to show that one so you can shame me?
Yes. I might be able to salvage it. We'll see. I may have to press it and see how it goes.
I made a mistake, you guys.
So
there was a miscommunication.
There was mistakes made. So very occasionally I'm going to buy items that, I shouldn't say very occasionally, quite often I'm going to buy things that are stained or have flaws.
Especially the bins.
In the bins. And I'm going to price them and sell them. But sometimes, and I'll try to wash just about everything. And sometimes I catch it and sometimes I don't. Like sometimes I've got like 5 things that Crystal listed for me this week that have spots on them that I think I can still get out. So I'm going to go back in and get the spots out and retake a couple of the photos and list them instead of listing it with the spots noted in the listing, as she does, because she catches everything under her bright lights. Our lights inside here are terrible. I can't see everything. Anyway, so sometimes I'll save a batch of 4 or 5 things and I'll want to soak them. This was one of those things. I picked this up at the bins. This is a designer suit that was made for Magnin, but it was made by a designer in the 60s that I had never heard of before. I'm trying to see if I can find it so I can tell you the name, but I can't find the tag right now. It probably wouldn't ring a bell. But here's the dress. It's just a really pretty, you can see the little faded spot on the front right here. I'm going to get a brooch and just put a brooch over that. I'll disclose it, of course, but I'm going to put a brooch over it. So it's a 1960s sheath dress, zips in the back, has the 2 pockets in the front. It's really, really cute mod dress. And it has the jacket that goes over it. Now, the jacket that goes over it has rhinestones on the buttons, and it has a little belt that goes in the front. It's a really cute set. I was probably going to list this around the $300 to $400 range. However, it was very yellowed, very stained, and very dirty. So it was pretty much worthless unless I could fix it and get the stains out. So I soaked it in the bathtub.
Okay, first of all, in my defense, okay, guys, my shame has not been publicly exposed yet, but I would like to preemptively say, in my defense, why was I the one doing your dirty work anyway? You can walk your little feet up the stairs and soak your own stained shit in the bathtub. Instead, she asked me to do it. Again, don't know why I was doing it. So I'm soaking her stuff for her, and it was soaking for like a day and a half.
2 days.
And then her daughter was
talking?
coming.
I wasn't done.
And I had to get it out.
So I soaked it in OxyClean and a couple of other things, and I knew I was just going to run it through the washing machine after because and save it and see if I could save it. Sometimes I can with this stuff. In this case, the OxyClean did get everything out of it. Katie was like, "I'm going to throw this in the
I asked, "Do I wash this? Do I put this through the laundry?" And she said yes.
No, you asked, "Do you want me to throw this in the wash?"
I said, "Do I put this through the laundry?"
You didn't
She said
say
yes.
No.
Whatever.
Nope.
Again, why was I doing it anyway, guys?
Anyway, she put it in the dryer. Acetate lined jacket and dress. She put it in the dryer.
It was a mistake. I thought for whatever reason, I was dumb.
So
and I thought that she had said it was okay.
I'm going to see if I can still save it because I really like it.
Mm-hmm. But in the future, when she asked me to do it, I'm going to say, do it yourself.
So the lining on acetate never dries properly. And it really shouldn't. It's okay if you hang dry it and stretch it and shape it with your hands again and then let it like line dry or lay flat to dry. And now it's like all shuckwad on the jacket and the dress. And I'm a little upset.
She did a lot of yelling. But again, I look back, I don't know why I was the one doing it in the first place. Just saying. She got legs.
It shouldn't have
go upstairs.
It shouldn't have gone in the dryer. Anyway, let's see. This one.
Allison says to cut the lining out.
I think it might ruin it. But that's an option. That's an option. I might be able to save it if I cut the lining out. I didn't think of that. Thank you, Allison. Anyway, vintage bark cloth. This came from the bins. Vintage bark cloth dress. Super cute. Fit and flare. 60s, 70s bark cloth. This one's in great shape. This one I also soaked because it had some real soiling on the straps. Yeah. And that worked. That one came great. This one did not.
Gross. That
one did not go into. I soak everything.
Yeah.
Gail.
And see, and those I knew not to, like those I didn't put into the dryer. That one and the other one. Just saying.
Because I stopped you.
No, the other one had already gone through the dryer. Those were in the washer.
That did not go in the dryer. This is one that I grabbed from, well, Katy actually grabbed it for me from Thrilling's live sale. They did a live Instagram sale. I'm going to tell you right now, don't buy shit from Thrilling when they do their sales. Okay. But she bought me two things. This is one of them. I don't know what the other one was.
Well, first of all, the way they had it set up is a live sale. They had a website that you could go to. The links were only sent out to people that were following this private Instagram profile. And so it gave you a link. And so it had all of the items, but no pictures. So it was like lot A, lot B, but it was a lot of one item. So basically you're watching this live and then you have to race over and be the first one to buy and check out. So it's a really,
they said they were going to change it. They said they were changing it.
It's a flawed system because you're checking out, but then they're showing more stuff. So I was trying to go as fast as I could to get stuff I wanted. And I was trying to get stuff for her. And I only got two. I got this and another dress.
Anyway, she snagged a couple of, I don't remember what the other dress is. I think the other dress is fine. I think I sent it with Crystal already.
Yeah.
Anyway, the intent was there and I appreciate it, but they really misrepresent their items. This was,
and somebody posted in the Facebook group.
I know, I commented
that there were, I'm just saying that a ton of stuff had staining and undisclosed flaws.
It was covered. It is covered in stains.
Mm-hmm.
So this is also a vintage bark cloth, beautiful dress that was covered in stains and is now covered in faint stains.
Yeah.
Because I soaked it. I washed it, didn't work. I soaked it, it faded them. I might be able to get some money out of it because the stains are really faded. I don't know. Depends on how strongly they show up under Crystal's magic lights because she finds every one of them. So paid $25 for this. I don't know what I'm going to get for it. I would have normally gotten it before.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm not
very stained.
From them again,
I won't buy from them again. Like they were like, oh, this is great. That's perfect condition, blah, 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 blah. And you can't see because they only show you real quick and then you buy it.
Yeah. Well, they're like, oh, there's a tiny little spot here, but I think it'll come out in the wash. And then you get the whole thing's covered in stains.
It had like 20 stains. It's like all yellowed and stained.
Yeah.
So I won't do that again. And then let me just see a couple more things to show and then I'm done. California pickups. These were already with Crystal the last few weeks. So I did not show them. I've got some vintage 80s Laura Ashley pastel delightfulness. So I think I paid $4 or $5 for this dress. It's this big with this drop waist and this very pretty pastel with these little short sleeve balloon sleeves. And it's in a bigger size, which is nice. I think I have this listed for like $75 or $85. Yeah, the dry cleaners can't clean stains. If I can't get the stains out, a dry cleaner cannot get the stains out. Let's see. Another vintage Laura Ashley dress with velvet. This is just a velvet drop waist. Very, very, they both have pockets, which is nice on vintage clothing. With the puffy sleeves, very modest. Blair Waldorf going to a Christmas party in the 80s. Navy blue. Super cute.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have some really good vintage. I think these came from the bins, or they came from one of my boxes from somebody that I purchased in our chat. Could have been from Lori. I do tend to forget. It's getting to the point where I have inventory coming from so many different places that I just don't remember exactly where they all come from. It's pretty safe to say I never pay more than $5 for anything. So maximum $5.
When you do pay up, you remember.
Yeah. So this is just a vintage 1970s. It's polyester. It's got this ribbed knit top and then these contrast polyester sleeves in the green and white. And then just a long knit dress. So it's a maxi dress with a zipper up the back. I would say this is probably late 60s, early 70s, but really cute. For Neiman Marcus. I don't know what brand it was originally, but could have been Neiman Marcus brand or could have been just made for Neiman Marcus.
Mm-hmm.
But super cute. I have that listed. I think the same price, around $75, $85. And then there's this one, which I really liked. This was different. This is very Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Ooh.
If I decide to go as like RBG for Halloween or something.
Big boobed RBG?
Yeah, big boobed RBG. It's a big enough dress I could wear it. So this is just a nylon dress with the lace collar, and it has this very strange lace up panel, like it's a blouse underneath, but it's not. It's just the dress with this opening. It's very odd, but weird. Black polyester, and it has these little lace cuffs on the sleeves. And it's just a long dress with the, with the belt that goes around the waist, a polyester belt. Very cute. This is also something that was very vintage that I like, that type of vintage. And that's probably like 60s, early 70s-ish. And I think I have that one listed a little higher because it's pretty original looking. So I think I have it listed at like 125.
Me, all right.
That's all I got.
All right. I got some stuff. I have some stuff that I don't think you've seen yet.
Probably.
So I've got some stuff that I got from Yesterday's Fits, a couple different batches of Yesterday's Fits stuff, but the most recent one, they had a big sale on Valentine's Day that I did not make it into. So all of the best stuff from that sale, Britt already got because he's a dirty bastard. He was there. He got like 75 pieces. And pretty much anything that I would have wanted was all priced at $5 a piece. So anything that I would have grabbed,
this is what happens because you share all of your resources. Whose fault is that?
No, I don't care about it. It's fine. But I can guarantee you that he got anything I would have wanted there. So
you share your resources with your local friends. Look at this. Dana,
there's more than enough.
Who I trained and has her own business, has at least 2 or 3 honey holes in this town that she refuses to even tell me where they are.
Well, because there's really no end to the stuff that I can get. So I'm not worried about it. But I can still bitch about it when it happens. I just wasn't paying attention. And it's not like they didn't advertise it. I just didn't know about it till after it was over. So I could have easily gone and shopped it. But anyway, but there was still some cool stuff there that I was able to pick up. Also, I did buy some stuff from that thrilling sale. I think I got like 7 pieces or 7 t-shirts, something like that. I had to like come up with like a method of like going really, I hate that kind of shit. I don't like fighting for stuff. I saw a video the other day. I think it was Bid Stitch put up a video, like a reel. And it was like guys at probably the Rose Bowl, like fighting over, like they just opened up a bale and they're all and like going crazy. And I'm like, kill me now. I don't want to do it. The bins I can do a little bit of. It's fun. I'll dig. But the whole like freaking piranhas going after a piece of meat, it's stupid. I don't like it. It's not fun. Anyway, and then I do have one other source that I've been using lately, and this one I'm not going to share because it would definitely not be in my interest to share the source. But it's an online source, and I've now bought from them 3 times, And so I will be showing you some of that stuff, and I will not be disclosing that one. Laura Frenzika, she's still in the chat. She knows about it. Our admins know about it, but otherwise I will not be sharing. Because it is a limited source. So let's go ahead. I'll show you.
So Karen asked real quick. I think she's talking about my dress. She might be a little bit behind. Can I have the lining replaced? Yeah, I probably could have the lining replaced, but replacing the lining on something would be really cost prohibitive.
Yeah.
Can I have the lining ripped out, stitch ripped out? Yes, I can. Crystal can do that for me, or I could probably try to do it. It just depends on whether it's going to ruin the integrity of the garment by removing the lining. Yeah. I'll take a look at it though and see if that's a possibility.
Yeah. All right. So there were a few things that had come in yesterday's fits that hadn't gone out yet. And I always get to go and kind of dig through the back. Jesse has similar tastes to me, like stuff that he thinks is cool. I usually think is cool as well. And so I really love anything space related or anything kind of it's interesting like that, or just has kind of a cool look. And so this particular sweatshirt, the tag on it is Lee, but it does have kind of the reverse weave, kind of the champion kind of started. But
Black hole sun.
So you look at it and you're like, okay, that could be a sunflower.
It's a sunflower.
And I said, well, it kind of looks to me like a solar eclipse or something like that. And
that's what I was thinking, black hole sun.
And he was like, yeah, I think that's what it is too, because it came in with some other stuff that was like very space related. And I think I have a t-shirt that also came from that same batch. So it's reverse weave. And for anyone who doesn't, I'll just to show it really quick again. Anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about, it's a lot of champion sweatshirts have this, but it's like a side panel. First of all, you can see, if you can help me here.
You really can't see it.
Yes, you can. You can see it. There's a side panel. So see how there's the back and there's the front. And then there's this side panel. And you can see how
the weave goes up and down.
So it basically the weave is either horizontal or diagonal, and it's next to each other. And so that's like why it's called reverse weave. And this is very distressed. You can see it's worn. I think it's awesome. I paid like $25 for this, and I'll probably list it for at least $100. I think it's a super cool sweatshirt. Love it. Very cool. This is from my source I will not be revealing. It's just a really cool 80s pink zip-up sleeveless hoodie.
I like that.
But this is from the 84 Olympics.
Oh,
so it's the 84 Summer Games.
Cute.
I believe this cost me about $12.50. And it says 1983 there, but this is from the 84 Olympics. I think this is super cute. I love it. I like Olympic stuff. So I paid like $12.50 for it. I don't know what price. I mean, I can't imagine there's like other ones available out there, but who knows? I'll have to look. At least $100 I would hope to sell it for.
Sandy said it looks like an eyeball.
Looks like an eyeball. All right. This one I got from my source. And I actually had this shirt before.
More than once.
I've had the shirt one time before. I've had many cow stuff, but I've had the shirt. I always send messages to Dana and I say, if you like cows, and I show her whatever cow thing, not because she likes cow stuff, but just because she thought I was funny that I said that. And when somebody thinks something's funny that I did, she's going to drive it into the ground. So anyway,
she takes that dead horse and beats it with another dead horse.
I feel like the one I had before was like a pink color and it had like a hole in it. But I sold it for a good price. This one's red. Vermont Country Cyclers. I think it's awesome. It's just a fun like cycling club t-shirt, but it's got the cow. You can see it in its sunglasses. It's got the guys on the bicycles. But this is on an 80s Hanes tag. You can see there, you'll see this tag like later 80s. Occasionally you'll see it in the early 90s. Stop yawning.
Sorry.
It is clean. But this is a really cool t-shirt. I love it. And again, I've sold it before, so I'm going to be able to see exactly how much I sold it for because I think I sold it on.
It's Etsy. True. Why don't I beat it with a dead cow instead of a dead horse?
Hey-o. Continuing with the cow theme, this one I picked up. I think I got this at yesterday's fits, and this one I love Ben and Jerry's.
That's fun.
And again, this one's on that same tag, but here is one instance where it's not 80s. This one's actually, but it's 1990. So you'll see it's like kind of a cusper tag. Generally, more often than not, it's an 80s t-shirt. But this one's got the cute French cows. That one guy, he's kind of wearing a French shirt there, eating their ice cream.
See, Frankie says I have a right to yawn. I've been awake since 4 a.m.
Yeah. And then the back says Vermont's finest. I think this is showing like a weird red color, I feel like.
It looks orange.
Making it tomato red.
It's not. It's a regular red.
This is a nice size. And I think I paid like $25, $30 for this one, but I love it. I think it's great. All right, here's one I did get for you, Sandra out there. I did get this one from the thrilling sale, and I'm happy with this one. It's a Yellowstone shirt, and it's actually a decent size. It's not super tiny, even though it's from the 80s. It's a large, but it probably measures like a slim large, but it's not like crazy tiny. And I always do really well with Yellowstone stuff, and this one I really like the design on it. I think it's a cool design. So I'm glad I was able to pull the trigger. I missed the first couple I tried to get.
Yeah, you could use Ben and Jerry as a keyword on the cow shirt. Ben and Jerry's is known for the whole cow thing. They're,
Well, it's a Ben and Jerry shirt. What do you mean?
And it's a Ben and Jerry. I think would use it as a keyword. It's not like it's
literally a Ben and Jerry's shirt.
Yeah, it's not a copy. It's not a copywritten thing that shouldn't be used. It is there. That's their type of branding for sure.
Yeah, it's their shirt.
Vermont cows.
Yeah. Oh no, no. I wouldn't do it.
Oh, the first one. No.
Just cows. No point.
Just cow.
No point. Because I'm just like somebody who's actually searching for Ben and Jerry's. Like they don't need their feed messed or filled up with a bunch of non-relevant stuff.
I like this one.
All right, next up, I have this awesome. I love this design. This awesome. I think Supreme might have stolen this too for one of their shirts.
It's also a Donnie Wahlberg.
Yeah, it's a spoof.
It's from the Donnie Wahlberg.
It's a spoof. So it's Kermit Klein t-shirt. I love it. This one I actually had to have. I had to have crystal repair. But luckily, it was just the seam was split. And so whenever it's a shirt where it's a seam issue, I love it because I know that she can fix it and it's going to look fantastic. And it's pretty easy for her because she's got the machine for it and the skill. So anyway, so this one this one's on the changes tag, which the changes tag, my understanding is that was what used to be sold at Hot Topic. A lot of their stuff had the changes tag on them. And so this one I should be able to sell for at least 100. I'll probably list it for like 200 and then make sure I can get a.
Greg says the first cow shirt looks like Ben and Jerry's art.
Yeah, it's very similar. But I remember researching it before, and it's like a cycling club. So it's in Vermont. They probably just stole the style for their shirt.
Probably
because it's in Vermont, same place.
Cows. There are a lot of cows.
Well, it's the same
Vermont.
place.
I know. I'm familiar with it.
So they probably copied the style. Yeah, Marky Mark.
You're right. It wasn't Marky Mark that did the.
I wasn't paying attention to her. No, it was Marky Mark who was
sorry,
not Donnie.
Mark Wahlberg.
Yes.
Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Yep. All right, next up.
Good vibration.
This one I got from me yesterday's fits. And I will say the one nice thing is because I missed that whole sale, he had everything was $5, but he let me what was left over. I got for $3 a piece. And there were actually some pieces in there that I was like, oh, sweet, $3. I'll buy these. I did not pay $3 for this one, but I think I paid like 10. But this is a 1989 Michigan Wolverines. And I think I got this one from yesterday's fits. But I probably paid like $10 for it. Either that or I got it from my secret source, but I don't remember. But I always love these school shirts. And here's another one where it's the screen stars usually is from the early 90s. But occasionally it'll be from late 80s stuff. And here's a shirt where this is from 1989. So here's an 80s shirt that has that later screen stars tag on it.
Cuspers.
How
many more you have?
Oh,
you showed that one already.
No, I haven't. I sent it to her. No, I didn't. She had it to repair.
Okay.
Guys, have I shown this one before? Maybe I have.
You did. You showed it 2 weeks ago before it went to be repaired.
We'll see. I have as many as I have. You showed a lot of stuff. This is the other one that came with that Black Hole Sun sweatshirt. Same person brought it in. So it just says Moonscape. Just a really cool moon t-shirt. But it's cool in the back. It's like it's backwards print Moonscape. The other side of the moon. Dark side of the moon. Anyway, just a cool shirt. And this one's on a Lee tag. And this one I paid like $30 for. I will sell this for
$30.
I'll sell it for at least $100. Yeah, it's a cool shirt, man.
Some of these shock me. I would not think to even put that for $100.
Let's see. This one is one I paid up for. I paid $80 for this one. Ride me.
Inappropriate.
Ride me. Ride free. This is an American Thunder t-shirt. It's a really good size. I think the tag says like 2X.
Isn't that the shirt that Kanye?
Yeah, that was a different one, but it's the same.
Lightning thing.
Yep, it's the American Thunder. Mm-hmm. It's a nice big size, but really big size.
What'd you pay for that?
I paid $80 for it. I needed to have some some good pieces.
Needed
put
some
in my store.
fire.
Some fire. We'll try to sell it for a couple
Fire.
hundred. Let's see. All right, where are my math nerds at? This is from my top secret source. This is a mathathon T-shirt from 1987.
Oh
I think
my
it's super
God,
clever
that's
that they
So
super
silly.
clever that they put the 1980. It's 19.87 in the calculator for this mathathon. Holla nerds. Seriously, I love it. 80s T-shirt. It's a St. Jude Hospital mathathon. They actually have their own branded tag. Fan freaking tastic. I paid like I think I paid like $5 for it, maybe $7.50. I'll price that one up because I think my math nerds out there. First of all, if you're a math nerd, you're probably making some good money,
And you can afford an
and
expensive T-shirt.
you can pay up for your cool vintage math
True.
nerd T-shirt.
It's very true.
Then I have this one that's like completely destroyed. This is the 1 = 2 proof written out, and it's like totally destroyed with holes.
1
and
=
everything.
2 what?
Proof. It's like this. You can like go through and quote unquote prove that 1 = do a proof that shows that 1 = 2. It does not obviously do that. But it's just
I don't even know what that means.
It's just a math exercise.
As you can tell, mathing
where
is not my strong suit.
You can use math principles and math formulas
Where I
be able to
kick ass
show-
at Wordle.
where you can actually show
Math,
that 1
not so
=
much.
2 on paper through calculations, but it's not actually true. That's all I'm saying.
Of
So,
course,
I'm sorry that
of
blows
course,
your mind.
Sandra and Allison. Yes, they should have put boobless in the calculator. Yes, I completely remember.
Yes. Oh yeah, you got
Kids doing that in the calculator.
All right.
And hell and
Just
hello.
got a couple more. Got this one at yesterday's fits. Paid like $10 for it. I think this one's super cool. I think that I'm gonna get some like graphic artists out there that are gonna be into this. This is actually the back hit. This is a Sharpies T-shirt, a 90s Sharpies T-shirt. Sharpie, mark whatever you want.
Graphic artists? Why do you think graphic artists?
Like graphic designers, graphic art, like use Sharpie. Like Sharpie is like
I don't know. I'm just.
It's
I don't know. I need to understand how your brain works.
Yeah. Okay.
You
Sharpie
said it like it's an obvious thing.
Sharpie is a great pen.
I know what a friggin' Sharpie is.
No, just listen to me for a second. I'm not saying you don't know what a Sharpie is. Sharpie is a great pen for anyone to use. We all know that Sharpies are at the top of the heap when it comes to markers. But Sharpies are also a big tool used by artists. Artists use Sharpies. Teachers also love Sharpies. My mom used a lot of Sharpies in her artwork.
Okay.
So
I always had a
equate them with
Sharpie in my
art.
purse because I was a rocker chick and I always needed a Sharpie at the ready for autographs. I don't know about you people.
Anyway, yes.
Right, Frankie? Right?
It's a super
I know
cool
you didn't have a
shirt.
purse, but you know what I'm saying? We always had Sharpies for autographs.
All right. I got two more. This one came from my disclosed source. I love it. It is a Nestea t-shirt. It's a little base or a little ringer tee. I took the plunge. This one actually was brand new, but I did bleach it. Went ahead and washed it and bleached it because it had a little bit of staining on it. And sometimes it's not worth being able to say it's dead stock, especially for something like a Nestea t-shirt. It's still a great graphic t-shirt and a good size. I think it's on a Screen Star. No, yeah, it's on an old Screen Stars. This is like early 80s, super early 80s. Screen Stars tag. Trying to get it in there. Your face is keeping it from focusing. There we go.
Sorry.
Yeah, thanks. Why does your face got to do that? Mm-hmm. Anyway, this one I paid like $5.
Of course, I had
for.
a silver Sharpie, Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
I carried a silver and a black Sharpie in my purse every day, probably up until about 5 years ago, because that's how frequently I went to concerts and had things signed up until 5 years ago.
Now, last thing, you are going to be interested in this one.
Oh.
This is a dead stock, new with tags, 1991 MTV Music Awards
Oh, I
t-shirt.
like that one.
So dead stock. This is
of course, I wasn't an MTV fan in 91. They were playing the grunge shit that ruined my
in
music.
91. I thought that was more like 92.
No, it happened.
91, they were still playing
90
your
and
dumb shit.
90 and 91.
Come
That
on,
was the age of Nirvana.
Unskinny Bop Bop was playing in like 93. All that shit. Unskinny Bop Bop. Anyway, 1991 music television t-shirt, fantastic condition because it is dead stock, new with tags. But this is what's even cooler, guys. Let's get down to it. Let's look at this tag. You will see this says it is a game shirt, open to play. Okay, this was actually a promo shirt for a contest. You get your game piece. Let me open it up. And there were 15 grand prizes, a trip for two to the 1991 Video Music Awards.
That's
in
a
LA,
badass shirt.
in LA. Oh, it gets even better though. Look at this.
Was it a winner?
No, it's not even scratched.
What the frig?
You think you could still win?
You might be a wiener.
It might be a wiener. So it's not even scratched off. Okay. I think it'd be, I mean, obviously I'm not going to scratch it off. But I think
dude, you should totally scratch it off and see if you win one of those things.
I want to sell it unscratched. I just listed it today. Anyway, I think it's super cool. But look at the other stuff you can get. You can get yourself a Sony Auto Sound AM/FM stereo receiver compact disc player. Your friends got like a new stereo for their car, and you're super jealous.
Yes.
And then also, so there are 250 of those, and 5,000 runner-up prizes of a Reebok sports bag.
I bet you've got a winning Reebok sports bag. You think they'll still send it to you if it's
I know.
got a winner?
Don't you think they should?
Man.
Anyway. I think it's pretty awesome. So this is the other one that I paid up for. I paid $80 for this one.
That's a badass shirt.
Now there's other MTV Music Awards t-shirts listed. This particular one is not. And they're not listed for crazy prices at all. But I really feel like because this particular one's not listed currently, and I think the fact that it's dead stock and it still has the game piece in it, unscratched, I still think I could get a couple $100 for it. I think I listed for $300.
Ooh, Sandra says all you have to do is shine a flashlight behind it in a dark room.
Ooh.
Maybe. We're going to try that.
Oh, very good. Very nice. We'll have to try that. Yeah, we can see what kind of winner it is. Anyway, I paid $80 for it. Just because I think it's a super cool piece. And again, sometimes I will pay way up for something because it elevates my store.
Yeah, I would list that for like $400. I'm with Greg. That's a really cool
I listed
shirt.
for $300. So if it sells for $300, great. If it takes a while, it doesn't sell, I'd be down to get $200 for it. So
That's a really cool shirt.
yeah, I think it's fun. I didn't even realize it had like the game piece still unscratched when I bought it. So I brought it home and I was like, "What? It's really cool, man."
You have to let us know when it sells and if we're able to figure out.
I gotta go flashlight it up here after we turn off this thing. I'll put it in the chat or in the comments down below
if you can find it.
Yeah. If I can see it. So,
all right, I guess that's it. That's all we got.
That's it, man.
Sorry for the super heavy first 15, 20 minutes of the show. But as you guys know, we kind of like, we're an open book. So
Tommy, we
fill you all in anyway.
I do both. I mean, I say new with tags. So when you're listing on eBay, the only option is to say new with tags, or you can say new without tags or whatever. I say new with tags, but I'll put the keyword dead stock in there. But yeah, it's new. That's tags, but it's also vintage. So,
Oh, you gonna get Ripley?
Are you gonna get Ripley, or you want me to go get her?
You go get her.
Right. That's right.
Yes,
I forgot.
Jen.
She has legs, but she doesn't like using them on stairs. That's why I had to do all this opening for her.
Yeah, that's it.
Next time, though.
Listen, I got up at 4. You witch.
So rude. So rude.
Do you know of any magical way to get a hold of Etsy? I do not. The only thing I've been able to do is message through Etsy support. And even that is crap. I've only had an issue on Etsy in all the years I've been selling there, maybe twice. And both times it was because 2 buyers opened cases against me, and both of them I won. So it, they respond to those, but I've never had to contact Etsy for anything. So I don't know. I totally need a cat nap, Jen. Can you tell by my eyes? I'm like practically falling asleep right here. We're meeting my friend Katy Pelchet at about 6 o'clock. So I might be able to close my eyes for an hour. But yeah, went to go get the baby. So the baby is 8 pounds now. She's almost the same size as Luna, our other dog. So yeah, she's pretty much.
Here she comes.
She's still stinking cute, but she's a big baby now.
Comes. She's half asleep right now, and for some reason, even though she doesn't know the concept of video feeds, she always acts like she's super shy and nervous when I bring her up here. So this is her little baby Ripley. She's still so stinking cute, even though she's a lot bigger. So a few days ago, she was sleeping in my lap, and so I took the opportunity to mess around with her mouth and look at her teeth. And she has pretty much all of her adult teeth in now, but she had when I looked, she still had these super long, really skinny, pointy fangs, but you could tell they were crowded up against her adult teeth. So I could tell they were still the baby ones, and they were the only 2 she had left. And so then last night I was looking, and I realized that one of them was because she was kind of like she was acting like she had something in her mouth, like she was kind of chewing on something. And she's a puppy, so she gets into stuff she shouldn't. And so I opened up her mouth, and I realized that one of them was super loose, and the other one wasn't there anymore. And one was super loose, and it was just kind of
big yawn.
She's so cute. It was super loose. I tried to pull on it a little bit, but I didn't want to hurt her. And but it was bugging her because it was like super loose, and then it was just like pointing sideways into her mouth. And then I looked again, or I think Allie saw it. The other one was actually still there. It was just sideways. So they're both like up against the roof of her mouth, pointing in. It was really weird because it's like I think they grow longer and longer, and then they just fall out. And so then this morning I looked again, and I could see that they were both there, but the one was kind of pointing into the roof of her mouth a little bit. I was worried it was hurting her, so I went to kind of try to move it a little bit, and it just fell out, guys. And I tried to get it out of her mouth. She swallowed it before I could. And so now she has just one left, and hopefully that's going to come out real soon. But it's like literally laying flat against the roof of her mouth. It's really weird.
Last baby tooth left.
Yep, last one left. I still have her. I have her little molar that I saved. She thinks I'm weird, but I that one I was able to
tied it to a doorknob. We did that with my niece. I did it with my daughter too when she was younger.
Yeah, but yeah, it's going to be. So now she's got all the rest of her teeth are her big girl teeth. Aren't you the cutest little baby in the world? See how she's so cute.
She knows.
Let's see her little face. Let me see her.
Nope, she's climbing up.
Yeah, see, she's like, I'm nervous.
Yeah, she knows. I don't know why.
I don't want to be.
Wait. Oh, she's got my necklace.
She slipped on. She's like, I don't want to be on the TV. I don't want to. She's so funny because she's such a like funny, confident, like just her sassy puppy. And now she's all like, I'm scared.
No, Jeff's not here, Tracy. It's just Kathy. Kathy's here for her photography conference. She comes every year. Just hadn't been here in 2 years because of the, COVID. And I don't think they had the conference, but she's here for her conference.
Yeah. Choco baby. She's still sleepy. So she's like, oh, I just want to go back to sleep.
She's so funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, kids. I think that's it.
She acts like she's camera shy, but she's no idea what that means. But she's just like, this is weird. Why are you guys doing this? I feel uncomfortable. Oh, he's a good baby. Okay. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up. I'm going to go stare at my MTV shirt in the dark with a flashlight.
And I'm going to go try to close my eyes for an hour.
There you go. All right, guys. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us. We really appreciate you. And I'm glad we did the show today. I definitely kind of wanted to not do the show today. I'm glad I did because it helped me kind of keep my minds off of sad things. So I really appreciate all of you. And I'm glad that you guys come and hang out with us and share this time with us because it definitely is a highlight of my week every week.
Same.
Thank you guys. We'll see you soon.
We'll see you next week.
Yep.